We are live. Yes, we are live. It is Sunday 21st of February 2021, and we are live for the Elimination Chamber watch along here on Wrestle News 365. Very excited because, of course, this is the time of the year. This is WrestleMania season. This is the road to WrestleMania. In my opinion, and I don't want to get too negative too quickly because I realize we're going to say something negative already, but probably a little too many bumps on the road to WrestleMania for me. If it was me, I would have the Royal Rumble, I would have my February pay-per-view, then I would have WrestleMania. This isn't the last stop on the road to WrestleMania, is it? Because, of course, we have Fastlane coming up. When's that, March? I think it's going to be in March. That's going to be the first Peacock, NBC Universal, WWE Network exclusive pay-per-view as well. So that's a big deal. But that's all in the future. Tonight is Elimination Chamber. Previously, it would have been, and it still, I suppose, it still would have been, one of my favourite pay-per-views historically. I guess I'm just, it's one of those things when you get older, I suppose, it's that you always prefer what you grew up with, or you always prefer what happened in the past, or you always prefer what it used to be, all this kind of stuff. I'm not very good with change. And when it comes to the Elimination Chamber, it's, for me, and again, I might be wrong here, I don't know, but for me, I prefer the old chamber. And I get it. I understand why they don't do the Elimination Chamber like they used to anymore. I mean, logistically, in terms of production, it's really difficult to do. A lot of arenas, stadiums, whatever now, don't have the apparatus or just the facilities to actually house and hold that version of the Elimination Chamber up there. So they have to make a new one, an updated one, and change it. The frustrating thing about that is that the Elimination Chamber before was just so brutal. It was so brutal because what I loved about it wasn't just the fact that you had 6 people in it, wasn't just the pods and all that kind of stuff. My favourite thing about the Elimination Chamber before is that it was legit chain links on the structure around it, as you can see behind me, that kind of chain link. And also what I really did like about it as well is that it was the steel on the outside of the ring. Those bumps, I mean, I don't know, I've never been in an Elimination Chamber match, but those bumps, you can't tell me those bumps didn't hurt, because those bumps did hurt. You could just tell they always hurt, whereas now it's not the case. You've got the square chamber now, you've got the mats on the outside of the ring as opposed to the steel on the outside of the ring. I don't know, it just, I prefer things the way they were, I suppose. Maybe that's just me being, like I said, old-fashioned, preferring what used to be. I don't know. That's just the way it is. Let's check in the chat. Ashley Robinson says, don't even have a women's Elimination Chamber match. That is true. Of course, last year it was main evented Elimination Chamber, wasn't it? By a women's Elimination Chamber match to determine the number 1 contender for the Raw Women's Championship. That was won by Shayna Baszler. She eliminated everyone in that match and then didn't even win at WrestleMania. So goes to show that anything can and will happen between now and WrestleMania. So buckle up. Really, I mean, buckle up, because anything can and will happen, like I said. What is weird as well, I suppose, with the Elimination Chamber 2, which is a good point to make here, is that when it comes to the Elimination Chamber last year, it was the last WWE pay-per-view, wasn't it, that actually had fans in attendance. 12 months ago, I don't think to the day, but 12 months ago, we still had fans in the arenas, we still had fans in stadiums and doing all that kind of stuff. The world was relatively normal. 12 months later, fans are yet to return. Fans are going to be returning on the WWE side of things at WrestleMania, of course, in Raymond James Stadium, but it just feels strange, doesn't it, that 12 months ago we were watching Elimination Chamber and we had fans there. What was weird as well with Elimination Chamber last year, if you recall, it was like mere days after Super Showdown in Saudi Arabia. It was one of those shows where WWE had a real issue with these Saudi shows. Well, they'll have a Saudi show and then like 3 days later or 5 days later or something ridiculous, they'll have a pay-per-view. It was the same with last year, Super Showdown and then Elimination Chamber. The year prior it was the same with Crown Jewel and then Hell in a Cell and then Crown Jewel. They've got a massive problem with that. So it was a bit of a throwaway show. It had fans in attendance, had a random Undertaker appearance as well for his AJ Styles feud. There's so much actually happened. Had an Intercontinental title change. Braun Strowman lost to Sami Zayn, Nakamura, and Cesaro. It was such a wild show, and that was 12 months ago. So much can change in 12 months. Eric Travis says, "Hey, Wrestle News, Drew McIntyre wins, and music hits and lights go out, and there is a fist on the screen. GTS, Drew McIntyre hold the belt." I mean, that'd be great, but it's not going to happen, unfortunately. He also says, do we see some returns tonight? Possibility. There's a possibility. There are a couple of people. Andrade's been teasing he might return. When it comes to The Fiend, will he return tonight? I don't think so. I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest, when it comes to The Fiend, if they do an Undertaker for WrestleMania 31 and they don't actually have The Fiend, Bret or Bray Wyatt show up until WrestleMania. Would that be the way that I would do it? Probably not. But they did it with The Undertaker. They did The Undertaker twice. They did it with The Undertaker for WrestleMania 31. For WrestleMania 34, when it came to The Undertaker against John Cena, they didn't even technically make the match announcement, but everyone knew he was going to show up. So he didn't show up between the last time he competed at WrestleMania 33 and WrestleMania 34. It could be the same when it comes to The Fiend. We might not see The Fiend until WrestleMania. It might be Randy Orton making this feud happen on his own. Randy Orton doing this feud by himself, cutting the promos, challenging Bray Wyatt. Of course, remember, we've got Alexa Bliss on Monday Night Raw, so she can essentially be The Fiend's spokesperson. The Fiend is using Alexa Bliss as his proxy anyway, frankly, isn't he? He's talking to the WWE Universe, he's sending his message through her. So we saw Monday night, it was a situation where Alexa Bliss said she was going to resurrect The Fiend. Maybe she does that at WrestleMania. So that one's an interesting one to keep an eye out. The Fiend could return at any time, so, don't quote me, because frankly, he could return tonight. There's absolutely a possibility, but we might not see him until WrestleMania as well, so that's a possibility as well. So I've got the kickoff show going in the background, so once we get into the kickoff show match, because there is a kickoff show match, I know there wasn't one initially announced, but it has been now, so we will touch on that because a lot is happening when it comes to this Elimination Chamber event. It feels like a bit chaotic. I think everyone's probably heard the news now. If you haven't, Keith Lee is out of the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. There were reports floating around all day. In fact, for the last couple of days, actually, I've heard the reports that Keith Lee wasn't going to be at the event. But it was confirmed today, or reports really did ramp up earlier today. Keith Lee wasn't even at the building. He was pulled out of the show because of injury, etc., etc. Then it was been subsequently confirmed by WWE that Keith Lee has indeed suffered an injury. They've tied it into the storyline saying that these injuries were suffered at the hands of the United States champion Bobby Lashley. That isn't the case, but we know that he is injured and he's not even at the building today. So we're not just getting Bobby Lashley versus Riddle, thank God, because we've seen that a million times. We are going to get a triple threat match, but instead of Keith Lee, we've got a replacement. That replacement is going to be determined on the kickoff show, where John Morrison will face Mustafa Ali, Ricochet, and Elias in a fatal four-way match, with the winner joining the United States Championship triple threat match between the US champion Bobby Lashley and Riddle later on this evening. Now, it's curious, that whole situation when it comes to the United States Championship is curious because you would think, why wouldn't they just go with a singles match? Now, I just mentioned there, I don't think they should have gone with a singles match anyway, because we've seen Riddle lose to Lashley a million times. Frankly, why is he in the match anyway? I don't know. It makes you think that the reason they're doing a triple threat match is because they need someone to take the fall when they don't want that person taking the fall to be Bobby Lashley, which leads me to think we might have Riddle winning the United States Championship tonight, but they don't want Lashley to take the fall or look bad heading into WrestleMania because they might have some big plans for him at WrestleMania. So that is certainly interesting. As far as who's that person going to be that wins that fatal four-way match, I mean, Ricochet, to be honest, and this might seem a bit crazy here, Ricochet, I mean, he's done nothing. He's done nothing for like 12 months. Since that Brock Lesnar match around 12 months ago for the WWE Championship when he lost in 8 seconds, he's been just, flying down to the to main event. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see a shock victory from Ricochet and then he is the one to take the pinfall because he's the right person in the eyes of WWE in terms of recent booking to take the pinfall. In reality, who would maybe be a better choice? I mean, I would love to see John Morrison there. I think any one of those guys, whether it's John Morrison, Mustafa Ali, Ricochet, Elias, is a good enough person to be in there. If it's someone to go in there to take a fall, it would probably end up being Ricochet, I think, frankly. But again, I don't know. It's certainly very curious. That is very curious. If you are new to the channel, be sure to like and subscribe. You can subscribe, click the bottom right-hand corner. We post daily videos talking about WWE AEW, Impact Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling. There is so much going on in the world of pro wrestling at the moment between now and WrestleMania, of course, and there's a plethora of other events that are going on as well. So be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. You won't miss a single thing. And as I mentioned, be sure to smash a like on the like button too. It really does help us out here on YouTube. Go up the rankings, get into people's recommendation feeds if they haven't seen our videos previously, and expand the community that is always growing here at WrestleNews 365. Let's double check the comments, the live chat once again. Super chats, speaking of the live chat, are open as well. So if you do want to contribute, donate to the channel, you can click that $sign. No, that you don't have to, but any donations are really appreciated. It's the best way to support the channel for live streams and daily videos that we do post. So Elijah Washington says, I know I'm going crazy, but what if Retribution attack Kofi and all be added to the chamber and Retribution help Ali wins unexpected? Well, unfortunately, Mustafa Ali isn't in an Elimination Chamber match. I mean, it was a good theory, Elijah, but it's not... Unfortunately not. Maybe next year. Ashley Robinson says, do you want Sasha Banks to win the women's tag team titles back again? We'll touch on that in a second, Ashley, because I think I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be shocked, but we'll touch on that in a second. Ian Thompson says, Keith Lee is not injured. Well, that's what we've heard. You know, when it comes to the COVID stuff, we know that Mia Yim obviously did test positive for the virus. We know that they are obviously engaged, so they have been in close proximity to each other. So Keith Lee has been self-isolating, but he was on Raw after that, so I don't think it's really a COVID situation. I mean, unless he's tested positive since then, I don't know. When it comes to stuff like that, I really don't like to speculate on it anyway, because frankly, it's none of our business. You know, someone else's medical records and medical issues are only our business if they make it our business. You know, they're called private medical records for a reason, aren't they? That's the situation. So I understand people will say, well, they're public figures, they're WWE superstars, etc. I don't lean into that kind of viewpoint personally. That's my opinion on that. But let's go through the card quickly, because it's a very interesting one. And what is very interesting as well is that, you know, we're on the road to WrestleMania, like I said, and we really don't know what to expect. And I don't think WWE do. The picture is coming together. Certainly more than it was a month ago. We know certain matches are definitely on the horizon. Roman Reigns versus Edge, Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt, Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair, Damian Priest, Bad Bunny versus John Morrison and The Miz. Those matches are basically set in stone, I would say. I mean, anything can and will change, but other things really aren't set in stone. We've heard a lot about Drew McIntyre, the WWE Championship. That match reportedly is wide open, so I think that makes the Elimination Chamber match tonight really interesting, because we could see a title change that sets up something big to happen come WrestleMania season. So keep an eye on that one. So let's go through the card. As I mentioned, we've got the match on the pre-show. John Morrison, Mustafa Ali, Ricochet and Elias. Winner goes into the United States Championship match later on tonight at Elimination Chamber. You know, I'm gonna go with Ricochet. And I know people will say, it's not gonna happen. When's the last time Ricochet won a match? I think that's precisely the point. I think Ricochet will win, because I think he'll go into that triple threat match and I think he'll take the pinfall, which will allow Riddle to become the United States Champion. So let's go on to that. We've got a triple threat match for the WWE United States Championship. We've got Bobby Lashley, of course, the United States Champion. He'll have MVP, his Hurt Business colleague, in his corner, going up against Riddle and that winner of the kickoff show Fatal 4-Way match. Again, I'm going to go surprisingly with Riddle here. Now, I'm fine with this as long as Bobby Lashley moves on to bigger and better things. Bobby Lashley at this point in his career is 44 years of age, but arguably he's doing the best work of his career. Now, I know he had a lot of success in Impact, but this is obviously a bigger stage. It's a harder environment, in my opinion, to succeed. It's a more corporate environment for someone like Bobby Lashley to succeed. He frankly should have been a world champion a long, long time ago. Even in his initial run in WWE, the guy was money. He's always been money. It's shocking that it took him this long to come back to WWE. I think he is, when Vince McMahon looks at him, he is his idea of perfection, of what a pro wrestler should look like. And over the course of the last 12 months, coming out of that whole Lana storyline and situation, which obviously really divided opinion. People didn't like the soap opera element of it. If you look at the ratings it got on YouTube and the views it got on YouTube, and frankly on television at the time, we could say it was maybe successful. Creatively, I thought it was terrible. But coming out of that disaster of a storyline, Bobby Lashley, thanks partly to MVP, of course, has thrived. I mean, there were conversations at Backlash last year, Backlash 2020, that Bobby Lashley was going to win the WWE Championship. That was a Paul Heyman call, and then Paul Heyman was subsequently removed from being the executive director of Monday Night Raw. And now, I don't think those two things are connected, but that shows you the promise that people thought about Bobby Lashley during that period. And he hasn't dipped at all between now and then. So Bobby Lashley, if this is a case of him dropping the US Championship to move on to something bigger when it comes to WrestleMania season, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I wouldn't be. I think that'd be great. I've pitched this a ton of times. I would love to see Bobby Lashley with MVP in his corner versus Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman in his corner. Think of the promos between Heyman and MVP. Think of the match between Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar. Bring back Raw Underground. Bring back that kind of environment, blood sport, whatever you want to call it. Put Lashley, put Brock Lesnar. That's a money match. That's a match everyone's wanted to see for a long time. People have really wanted to see Brock versus Bobby for a long time. I want to see it. I know so many people that want to see it. And if it means he has to lose the United States Championship to do that, don't have a problem with it. Do not have a problem with it in the slightest. Brock versus Bobby. Book the match. Book the match. So what else do we have on the card? Well, we have the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships on the line. We have Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, the Women's Tag Team Champions, defend against the SmackDown Women's Champion Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. Now, Bianca Belair, as far as I'm aware, has she not? I don't think she selected her WrestleMania opponent as of yet. It's Sasha Banks, though. It's going to be Sasha Banks, and I think, to be honest, what we're going towards, unfortunately, and I'm not a big fan of this whole storyline because WWE have done it a ton of times, and it's not. I think it I think it reduces tag team wrestling. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Banks and Belair win the tag team championships tonight, and then between now and WrestleMania, it's a deal of, well, tag team champions are facing off. How can they coexist when they're WrestleMania opponents? How can they do this? It's Shawn Michaels and John Cena heading into WrestleMania 23. It's that storyline. Eventually, Sasha Banks turns on Bianca Belair, and that sets up the WrestleMania match. Now, obviously, the other side they could go to is that Banks and Belair can't get on tonight. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler get the victory. They're scheduled to defend the Women's Tag Team Championships on NXT on Wednesday against Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. So, I mean, maybe Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler will win it. I wouldn't be shocked if that suddenly becomes Banks and Belair. And to be honest, Banks and Belair versus Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, it probably would be a bigger match in terms of ratings for NXT. But if I wanted anyone to be the Women's Tag Team Champions right now, I'd want it to be Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. Have Nia Jax and Baszler go to NXT and drop the titles to an NXT tag team. Make NXT mean something. Compete with AEW. That kind of thing is exactly what I think NXT needs to be doing. So I know I've kind of predicted everything there. And it's a bit ridiculous because I'm pretty sure that Lana and Naomi getting their victories on Monday Night Raw this week, didn't that mean that they were going to be facing Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler? Didn't that mean that they were going to be number one contenders? Logic means nothing, apparently, nowadays. So that's frustrating as well. So we also have tonight, let's get into the actual Elimination Chamber matches themselves. Let's start off with the WWE Championship Elimination Chamber match. This one, for me, is the one that is wide open. This one really is wide open. So you've got the WWE Champion Drew McIntyre. He's defending against AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton, Sheamus, and Kofi Kingston. Now, of course, Sheamus won the gauntlet match on Monday Night Raw this week, so I believe that means he enters last. This one is really interesting because, as I mentioned, this one is wide open. The other Elimination Chamber match maybe isn't as predictable, but the point that they're getting to is predictable in that Roman Reigns is going to retain the Universal Championship match. That's going to happen. Roman Reigns is walking out of here the Universal Champion tonight at Elimination Chamber. When it comes to the WWE Championship, that's a lot different. That one's a much more wide open because WWE themselves, the creative teams themselves, they don't know what they're going to be doing for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania right now. Now, I know some people are saying Drew McIntyre, Sheamus. I don't see it. I think that Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, I think will happen. I think it's going to happen at Fastlane, and I think I don't know. I guess by saying that, I suppose I've probably given my prediction there. So we'll go there. I think the winner of this match will either be Drew McIntyre or Sheamus. I would not be shocked in the absolute slightest, if Sheamus wins tonight and then Drew McIntyre wins it back at Fastlane and then moves on to whoever he's going to face at WrestleMania. They teased Shane McMahon versus Drew McIntyre and people have said that's not going to happen. I'm telling you, they teased it on Raw a couple of weeks ago. And I would not be shocked in the slightest if Drew McIntyre faces Shane McMahon at WrestleMania. I don't want to see it, and if anything, I'm kind of hesitant to put it out there into the universe, if you will. But all I'm saying, so I'm going to go with Drew McIntyre or Sheamus. Maybe I should commit to a prediction there. Maybe that doesn't feel right, does it? I'll go with Drew McIntyre to retain. Obviously, I know some people are saying, what about The Miz? Could The Miz cash in? It's a possibility, but to be honest, I just don't see The Miz cashing in until after WrestleMania. I said this a while ago, and I meant it, to be honest, in the context of Edge facing Randy Orton at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship, but it kind of works out the same here. I said previously that I felt Edge would win a world title at WrestleMania, and the best thing they could do was the following night on Monday Night Raw, or Friday night on SmackDown, wherever, Edge comes out, it's this huge moment, 10 years to the day that he retired. He wins a world championship he never lost. It's this massive, massive moment, but logistically, Edge can't be the world champion for very long because he's not going to have matches on TV every week. He can't do it. How'd you get out of that problem? Well, on the SmackDown or Raw after WrestleMania, you have The Miz cash in, and you arguably have one of the best Raw or SmackDown after Mania moments ever. You get red hot. I don't know if there'll be a crowd there, but it'd be such a moment. It would be such a moment. And think of putting The Miz in that situation. Think of the heat that The Miz would get. You tell that story, the amazing story when it comes to Edge, wins the World Championship, and The Miz takes it away from him. One night. He held the title for one night. How amazing would that be? How amazing would that be? So, I've just completely gone off on a tangent there. That's kind of what I do here. But I'm going to go with Drew McIntyre or Sheamus to win the WWE title chamber match. Let's go on to the second chamber match of the evening, which is an Elimination Chamber match, and the winner of that match will face Roman Reigns later on in the night for the Universal Championship. So we've got Jey Uso, Kevin Owens, King Corbin, Sami Zayn, Cesaro, and Daniel Bryan. This one's interesting because, again, we know the outcome. We might not know the outcome of the chamber match, but we know that whoever wins this match is going to face Roman Reigns. Reigns isn't losing the Universal Championship. He's facing Edge at WrestleMania. Reigns hasn't lost a match since he returned at SummerSlam last year, and he's obviously been on the run of his career, doing the best work of his career. He is SmackDown right now, and frankly, you could say that he is WWE right now. He is the best character that WWE offers up right now. It's the Fiend and it's Roman Reigns. That's the two best characters for me right now. So Roman Reigns isn't losing tonight. So then the question then becomes, okay, who can benefit the most of having a main event World Championship match against Roman Reigns, knowing that they're going to lose, because they are going to lose that match. So for me, I know people might say, well, Kevin Owens, of course, you had the Kevin Owens match between Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns at TLC. You had the Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns match at Royal Rumble. Both fantastic matches. I thought the TLC match was great. I thought the Last Man Standing match was better. And if they had another match tonight, would it be great? No doubt in my mind. Yeah, two of the best storytellers in WWE right now. They have unbelievable chemistry. I wouldn't have a problem with it whatsoever. But in my opinion, who would benefit the most? Who would benefit the most from winning that Elimination Chamber match? Who would benefit the most from having a match with Roman Reigns in the main event for the Universal Championship, knowing that they're not going to win the title? The answer is Cesaro. Tonight, I think I'm firmly in that Cesaro section. Tonight, I think it's Cesaro's night. Tonight, I think, it makes, for me, the most sense. Cesaro's been on a roll recently. I think putting Cesaro in that spot with Roman Reigns, knowing that he's not going to win, Cesaro's not going to win, but we've seen what can happen when you put someone in that position. Kofi Mania. Now, Cesaro being in that position with Roman Reigns, are we going to see Cesaro Mania? No. We're still going to see Roman Reigns versus Edge at WrestleMania for the Universal Championship, but what we can see is Cesaro given an opportunity. What we can see is Cesaro being put up to a higher pedestal, to another level, if you will. And that's why I think it's Cesaro's night. I think it's Cesaro's night. And obviously, as I mentioned, that would lead on to Reigns versus Cesaro for the Universal Championship. Who would win that match? It's an easy prediction. It's Roman Reigns. I guess the interesting one then would be is who's going to main event? What's going to be the main event tonight? Because if it's Roman Reigns versus whoever, my issue probably would be for that is that maybe it's slightly predictable, that we know that Reigns is going to win. I suppose, though, just because it's predictable doesn't mean the story will be great. I referenced Kofi Mania there. Kofi Mania, the Elimination Chamber part of it was predictable. I think everyone thought, Kofi isn't going to win the title here. We hoped it, and the way they told the story made us just believe it for a slight second. But we all in the back of our mind knew that Daniel Bryan was going to win that night. Maybe it'll be the same here. Now, can they do that without a live crowd in attendance? Because what made those Kofi Mania moments so special was the crowd there. I don't know if they can do that without the crowd in attendance, but it's certainly interesting. There's certainly a lot that is interesting there and exciting to see. So I'm excited. I'm interested. Maybe not as hyped as I would usually be for an Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. As I mentioned previously, in the past, Elimination Chamber, No Way Out, I used to love this pay-per-view at the time of the year because it was really the halfway point between the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. It really did feel like, okay, this is the last stop. After this, we're right into WrestleMania storylines. We're going to get the best time of the year for WWE content. And it's become very diluted, hasn't it, over the course of the last sort of 10 years or so, in my opinion. Just the chamber isn't as violent and, gratuitous violence. It doesn't have that anymore. It's changed. It's not got the steel grate on the outside. It's smaller. It's got mats on the outside. There's another pay-per-view after it. So it's Elimination Chamber, then it's Fastlane. It just feels like a bit of a money grab, doesn't it? Not to say that it's not a good pay-per-view, because it is. But it just, I don't know, it doesn't feel like it used to be, and maybe that's just the case for WWE in general, right? If you're only been a fan of WWE for a couple of years and this is all you know, I bet you love Elimination Chamber, right? Because you've never knew how good it used to be. If I'd only been watching WWE for a couple of years, and then imagine last year's Elimination Chamber was my first Elimination Chamber, I'd be like, great, I love Elimination Chamber, because it's all you know. So you have to be, I suppose, a bit sympathetic when you do think a bit like that, I suppose. And I'm guilty for that too. So let's look to the live chat once again. Be sure to subscribe if you're new, bottom right-hand corner. Smash a like on the like button too. Member super chats are open. Click the $sign if you want to donate and support the channel. It is much appreciated. Kevin Avery says, Asuka deserves better. We'll touch on Asuka. Thank you for reminding me, Kevin, because I nearly forgot about that. He also says, Lana and Naomi deserves to be on tonight's pay-per-view. Andrew Pollard says, hola everyone, holla everyone. Is it hola or holla? You've been Spanish or cool? Maybe it's the same thing. Excited to be here. The Chamber's going to be off the chain tonight. Get it? Good pun. Kevin Abel also says Drew McIntyre versus John Cena, or Drew McIntyre versus Christian for WrestleMania 37. Ashley Robinson says, okay, let's see Sasha Banks win the Women's Tag Team titles tonight. What did Bianca Belair? Is she still going to be defending the SmackDown Women's Championship? They will be facing each other at WrestleMania. I think that's pretty much a certainty at this point. Kevin also says, I can't see Seth Rollins help Roman Reigns against Cesaro. Oh, that is a very good point. That is a very good point. Maybe we will see Reigns versus Cesaro in that Universal Championship main event. And then, of course, who's been feuding with Cesaro recently? That would be Seth Rollins. And maybe you've got a bit of a relationship between the two former Shield brethren. Good point, Kevin. Now, mentioned Asuka versus Lacey Evans. Now, as far as I'm aware at this point, I'll take a drink quickly. As far as I'm aware at this point, I don't think it's officially been cancelled yet. But of course, announced for this Elimination Chamber pay-per-view was the Raw Women's Championship match. That Raw Women's Championship match had Asuka defending the Raw Women's Championship against Lacey Evans. Well, that match isn't going to happen. That match isn't going to happen because Lacey Evans is pregnant. And she announced her pregnancy on Monday Night Raw this week. Now, the pregnancy is legitimate, if you're not aware. It's not a storyline. She is legitimately pregnant. I don't know how long she'll be on TV for. I think it'll be the case of like Maria Kanellis. She'll probably be on TV for the next 3 or 4 months, I would assume. We don't know how far gone she is or anything like that. But it looks like WWE are continuing with the storyline. I don't know if that's maybe the wisest, considering we're currently in the pandemic and she's a pregnant woman, but okay. And obviously the announce for this show was that it was going to be Asuka versus Lacey Evans, and that's not going to happen now. Now, WWE since hasn't come out and cancelled it, which I think is crazy because everyone knows that it's not going to happen. The storyline on Raw was that potentially Ric Flair was the father. Now, I'd said this a couple of times, and maybe this will actually facilitate it, I don't know, that I felt we were going towards Ric Flair and Lacey Evans was Al Wilson and Dawn Marie. Now, if you're not familiar with that, Al Wilson and Dawn Marie was a storyline that WWE did in 2002. This was like right at the start of the first brand split. So I think like 2002, late 2002. And essentially what it was, Tori Wilson, WWE Hall of Famer, her father, Al Wilson, fell in love with other female superstar at the time, Dawn Marie, and they got married, and there was this whole stepmother, daughter kind of weirdness. I mean, Google Armageddon 2002, you know what I'm on about. Basically, there was a wedding, and they stripped off during the wedding. It was very strange, but it lives in infamy today. And then Al Wilson in storyline died on the honeymoon as well, and they got in a fight at the funeral and all this kind of stuff. I'm not joking. That this is all real. So check that out. Check that. It is crazy. It is crazy. So be sure to check that out, because I think that's what we're getting. I think it's Al Wilson and Dawn Marie in 2021. I think that's what we're going towards. I think it's going to be Ric Flair and a Lacey Evans wedding. Ric Flair's going to pop the question to Lacey Evans because he got her pregnant. I mean, I think this is where they're going to go with this. I think it's going to be that soap opera. I really do, which is scary. But I think that's probably where they're going to go with this one. So they haven't cancelled the match officially tonight. It's not going to happen. Who it's going to be? Is Asuka going to be facing? I don't know. Is Asuka going to have the match? I don't know. But what we do have right now is action, because the kickoff show, we have the match from the kickoff show, which is, of course, a fatal four-way match with the winner going into tonight's United States Championship triple threat match. So here come Retribution, because Mustafa Ali, the leader of Retribution, is representing his faction. No Mia Yim there as well. I think at this point, to be honest, I was just going to say, how long has it been? And I don't know. I don't know how long it's been since Mia Yim released that post. Has it been over 2 weeks? I don't think so. But Keith Lee wasn't on Raw Monday, but he was on the week prior. I don't know. I've lost track of my timelines. I really have. I think everyone has over the course of the last 12 months. It's so difficult to try and keep your mind on. It's crazy. So Mustafa Ali's in the ring. And here comes John Morrison. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Bottom right hand corner, smash a like on the like button. Super chats are also open on the $sign. Feel free to donate and support the channel. It is much, much appreciated. We'll read out your messages as well and have a good discussion about them. Excited to see John Morrison be back to being a singles. Well, he's not split up from The Miz or anything like that, but I hope that this is the beginning of more John Morrison single matches, because I get it. The Miz tag team, John Morrison, Miz and Morrison dirt sheet is great, but John Morrison's incredibly talented. You know, former Intercontinental Champion, former Impact World Champion. You know, it's not as if he didn't do anything when his time away from WWE. He was highly successful. Lucha Underground, Impact Wrestling, you name it. So here comes Ricochet. As I mentioned, interesting about tonight's Elimination Chamber event is that it's the last event that is not going to be on the NBC Universal Peacock streaming service in the United States as well. So that will, I don't know if that will change things. I don't know if Fastlane's actually going to be at Tropicana Field inside the Thunderdome as well. I don't know when they move. They have to move soon. They have to move soon because the Tampa Bay Rays are coming back. They can't go back to the Amway Center, of course, because of NBA. So be interesting to find out what WWE are doing. I'm sure they've got it covered. As Ricochet is now in the ring, so we're waiting on the final competitor, which of course is Elias. And here he comes. Of course, he's going to be accompanied by Jackson Riker. No Jackson Riker. Where's Jackson Riker? I'm not complaining, to say the least. But yeah, no Jackson Riker. Interesting. Let's do a quick subscriber count as well. Let's check how many subscribers we're on tonight and see if we do a subscriber target for today. So we're currently on 2,785. Let's see if we can get to 2,000. Should we be really bold? See if we can get to 2,800 tonight. See if we can do that. So if you are new, be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. I wanted to check because I think I saw, and I might be wrong here, I think I saw WrestleVotes tweet. Now WrestleVotes, if you're not familiar, WrestleVotes are very much an in-the-know Twitter account. They drop lots of exclusive news and insider information. They have simply tweeted the eyes emoji. They've tweeted the eyes emoji. What does that mean? What does the eyes emoji mean? Well, that is either concerning or exciting. Maybe we're going to see something very interesting tonight. But the match has started, by the way. I just completely got distracted by the eyes emoji thing. Ricochet rolls up Mustafa Ali with a crucifix there. Kicks out at 2. Fatal 4-way, of course. First person to get a pinfall or submission qualifies for the United States Championship match tonight at Elimination Chamber. Now, Elias is working over Mustafa Ali. Joel Morrison is working over Ricochet. All 4 men are brawling in the ring as we speak. Now, Elias is going to work on Ricochet now, and Mustafa Ali is working on John Morrison. Only one babyface in this match. 3 heels, 1 babyface. Ricochet being the babyface. Mustafa Ali, Elias, and John Morrison are the heels. He's got the numbers against him. Oh, what a chop that is. What a big boot by Elias. John Morrison's flown out the ring. Now, you would think, and again, I know this is pro wrestling, so sometimes you have to throw logic out the window, but you would think, Fatal 4-way, it's no disqualification, right? If considering it's no disqualification, why wouldn't Retribution just get in the ring and then give Mustafa Ali the win? You know? Logic? Anyone? Anyone logic? No? Ricochet reverses the whip, throws Elias into the corner. Elias, what a kick to the chest. Nice. It's the little things you notice. I just noticed that it doesn't look like the ring posts are the LED ring posts. They are back to being normal steel ring posts. The little things you know. Oh, nice. Mustafa Ali rolled into the ring and it was sort of a quadruple move there. 2 count. I would look like the ref did a 3 count there as well. But yeah, if it was no DQ, why wouldn't Retribution just get in the ring? I mean, just again, it's once again it's normal stupidness when it comes to logic and I guess Retribution in general. Ali with a big chop to Ricochet there as well. Doesn't seem to be phasing Ricochet. Right hands by Ricochet is going to whip Mustafa Ali off the rope. Goes for a sunset flip. Mustafa Ali rolls through, goes for a punch. Ricochet covers up and Mustafa Ali stamps on his knee. Ow, and a beautiful backdrop. Yeah, nice. Stacks up Ricochet there. Kicks out. Now Elias is now working Mustafa Ali in the ring. First time we've seen Elias, I think, since the Royal Rumble last month. I don't think we've seen him on Raw, have we? Oh my God. What a knee that was by Elias. That was brutal. Oh, and he gets a 2 count because Slapjack's just pulled Elias out of the ring. Should have seen that knee. Wow. What a knee to the face that was. That was nasty. Rolls up on... Oh, Ricochet with a kick to Elias. Now John Morrison's going to go into the corner. Oh, pulled over to the top by Ricochet. And a beautiful kick. Beautiful kick by Ricochet. It's just Ricochet and Elias in the ring now. And Elias is going to go for a chokeslam. Or sit out chokeslam. Nice. Different move by Elias there. Going for a 2. And broken up by Mustafa Ali. Now Elias just throws Mustafa Ali out of the ring. Now he's going to go to work on Ricochet instead. John Morrison, springboard kick to the face of Elias. Morrison now is sizing up Ricochet. I'm not sure what he's going to go for. He's going to go for it. Moonlight drive. Nice. Oh, just snapped his neck. Here we go. 2, 4. The referee hesitated on that one. He went 1 and 2. Go over. For the 3. Ricochet kicks out. Ricochet looks to be in the drop zone. John Morrison's going to go for Starship Pain. Is it going to be a good one or a bad one? Starship. Oh, misses. Ricochet rolls out the way. So now, again, why wouldn't Retribution just get in the ring? John Morrison as well. He hesitated in midair. That was amazing. John Morrison is an unbelievable athlete. Just an incredible athlete. Ali's going to go for Ricochet in the corner. Ricochet kicks him out of the way. Roll through shotgun drop kick. Now Ricochet is working on Elias and Mustafa Ali. Chops and kicks. Kicks to Elias. Chops to Mustafa Ali. Springboard off the rope into a moonsault. Nice. by Ricochet. You can't doubt he's good in the ring because he's unbelievable in the ring. Gonna go for what's that? It's gonna bridge suplex, so it's broken up. It's kind of a hybrid of a dragon suplex and an exploder suplex into a bridge by Ricochet. Beautiful suplex. But it was broken up by two superstars. Now all four guys are down in the ring. See this? Oh, beautiful suplex. Great bridge as well. But it was broken up by Elias and Ali. Elias charges Ali in the corner. Ali gets an uppercut. It's going to go for beautiful satellite DDT. Oh, springboard 450 by Ricochet on Ali. Ricochet goes for the cover, and Ali is pulled out of the ring by Retribution by T-Bar and Mace. Ricochet looks confused. He's selling a look of shock. Ricochet's going to go for a dive. Jumps over. Oh, he's caught. He's caught by T-Bar and Mace. He went for a senton. He was caught by Mace and T-Bar. What's he going to go for? They're setting up for something. Oh, and they just threw him into the steel post. And again, it's not those LED ones with the protection. It's the steel post. And Ricochet just bounced. John Morrison in the ring has just pinned Ali. Morrison's got the victory. Retribution had their back turned like the idiots that they are. And John Morrison gets the win. So John Morrison's going to be added to the triple threat match. So it's going to be Bobby Lashley versus Riddle versus John Morrison. Give him the title. Give him the title. Big Match Johnny. Big Match Johnny's back. John Morrison is in the United States Championship triple threat match. Nice. I'm switching over headphones because my headphones are already dying, which is not good. But yeah, I can still see the replay here. So Ricochet went for a jumping sort of senton or flip outside the ring. He gets caught by Mace and T-Bar, and they throw him into the steel ring post. And again, it's not the LED one; it's the actual proper steel ring post. And he bounces off of him. So whilst they're focusing on Ricochet on the outside, Mace, T-Bar, Slapjack, Mustafa Ali's in the middle of the ring. John Morrison just goes in, rolls him up, gets the victory. But Johnny Nitro, John Morrison gets the victory. So we have our name who's going to be in the triple threat United States Championship match tonight. It's going to be Riddle, Bobby Lashley, and John Morrison. Certainly an interesting name there, no doubt. So what are we thinking? What are our predictions for Elimination Chamber match? The Elimination Chamber matches tonight? Let me know your thoughts in the live chat. Be sure to like and subscribe. Bottom right hand corner, we post daily videos talking all things WWE, Impact Wrestling, AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling. So be sure to subscribe, smash a like, so we can go up the rankings, get to people's recommendation feeds by clicking the like button. If you subscribe, you can be notified when we post our daily videos and for when we go live for watch-alongs like this. Remember, super chats are open. You can contribute and support the channel through the $sign. It is much appreciated. So we are about 15 minutes away from Elimination Chamber going on the air as we are back with the kickoff panel. Charlie Caruso, JBL, Booker T, and Peter Rosenberg. And it looks like, for a second there, it looked like the Elimination Chamber was being lowered and then it stopped. So I don't know, someone just pressed the button. Lower, no, don't lower. Todd says Riddle wins. Indeed. I think Riddle will win. I agree. I think Riddle will win tonight. I think John Morrison was added to the match to take the pinfall. I thought it might be Ricochet. That's not the case. I'm happy that it's John Morrison. I'd love to see John Morrison win the US Championship, but I don't think it's going to happen. But I think, actually, let's talk about Riddle as well, because Riddle, his gimmick in NXT, right, was this laid back, cool stoner guy, right? That's the whole deal, like 420, right? All that kind of stuff. But he is a former UFC fighter. He's a badass, you know. Yes, he's laid back. Yes, he wears the flip flops. Yes, he says bro and the fist bumps and all that kind of stuff. Yes, he does all that. But once the bell rings and he's in the middle of the ring, he comes to life. He's this ridiculously tough fighter, all that kind of stuff. That's who Riddle is. And like everything, the transition from NXT to WWE and the main roster, they take those things and they magnify them, because NXT, they wouldn't do the way that Riddle was being booked on the main roster, because they were thinking for our audience that would be insulting that audience, because they're a more adult orientated audience. I mean, it goes to show in the ratings. The only rating that NXT beats AEW is the 50 plus demographic, so they have an older audience. They know if we book Riddle like that, the audience would hate it. They would look right through it. It's more of a hardcore indie audience. They would hate all that kind of stuff. On the other side of things, WWE goes, well, our audience is very broad, for Raw and SmackDown, and it's younger and all that kind of stuff. So they see Matt Riddle, Vince McMahon, Bruce Pritchard. They see Matt Riddle. They don't understand at all what Matt Riddle's character is. So they just say, he's a stoner guy, right? Okay, so let's do it all the time. Now he's stupid. And that's what it is. Matt Riddle is just... give it 10 years, he'll be R-Truth. He'll have the 24/7 championship again and again. That's what he's going. That's what he is. He's an idiot. Booker T's just done his shucky ducky quack quack moment of the night, and then they've got the graphic on the screen, which I always love. It's a duck that floats with Booker T's hair, his dreads tied up, which is great. Gets graphics, sound effects. It's great. So what is everyone's predictions for tonight's Elimination Chamber events? Again, I'll go through my predictions once again, because I've already been wrong, because I said I thought Ricochet would win the Fatal 4-Way match. So, WWE Championship Elimination Chamber match. I know I've got to commit here, because I said before I thought Drew McIntyre or Sheamus. I'm going to go with Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre to win that one. Bobby Lashley versus Riddle versus John Morrison. I'm going to go with Riddle. I'm going to say Riddle pins John Morrison as well. Bobby Lashley doesn't take a pinfall or anything like that. WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler versus Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. You know what? I said earlier on in the stream that I thought Sasha Banks and Belair would win, and they would do the storyline going into WrestleMania. They would do the John Cena, Shawn Michaels storyline from WrestleMania 23 of tag team champions facing off, and eventually they'll turn on each other. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna say that happens tonight. I'm gonna say that Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair don't get on tonight, and that's how Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler retain. And actually, I then hope that Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler lose the Women's Tag Team Championships Wednesday night on NXT, where they face Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, of course, the winners of the first ever Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Cup. Asuka is going to be defending the Raw Women's Championship. We don't know who against. It was meant to be Lacey Evans, but of course she is pregnant, apparently with Ric Flair's child. I can't even say it with a straight face. She's a happy woman. And we also have I was just reflecting on how bad that joke was. We've got then the SmackDown Elimination Chamber match, which has Jey Uso, Kevin Owens, King Corbin, Sami Zayn, Cesaro, and Daniel Bryan facing off, with the winner having a Universal Championship opportunity tonight against Roman Reigns. Who do I think is going to win that one? I think it's between three people. It's either Kevin Owens, it's either Daniel Bryan, or it's Cesaro. I really, really, really hope it's Cesaro. And then Cesaro will face Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship match, for the Universal title rather, tonight. And I don't think he will win, because I think Roman Reigns is going to leave here as the WWE Universal Champion, because he's going to be facing Edge at WrestleMania for said Universal Championship. That is what's going to happen. So, Andrew Pollard's in the chat. He says, hoping this match will be one of the best. All of these wrestlers are great. It's interesting when it comes to the WWE Championship Elimination Chamber match, isn't it? Because, of course, it's all former WWE champions. That's how they're saying it. They're going, oh, look, it's all former WWE champions. And I've seen a lot of people that have said about that, well, that reflects a problem. That reflects a problem for WWE, because it's evident of WWE's issue of building new stars. And it's true. I think WWE's last men's Royal Rumble match in January, I believe, and I think this has been proved at this point, wasn't it, that it was the oldest Royal Rumble match in history, and that all of the people, the cumulative age in that match was the oldest in history, and we didn't have anyone in their 60s or anything like that for whatever reason, WWE has moved away from a youth movement, and now their talents are late 30s, early 40s, which isn't a problem because I think conditioning and people looking after themselves has improved. But it does go to show that there is certainly this hesitancy. There is certainly this feeling that WWE doesn't want. Not doesn't want to give the younger performers an opportunity, but they don't trust them. They don't trust them. They don't think that they have what it takes or whatever. Vince McMahon likes veterans. He likes people who are experienced. Again, I don't know if it's a trust issue. I don't know what it is. But whatever it is, it's very obvious that Vince McMahon and the powers that be in WWE, they prefer the experienced heads, and that's what we're getting. That's what we're getting tonight when it comes to the WWE Championship Elimination Chamber match. We're getting people that are very experienced. I mean, McIntyre, AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton, Sheamus, Kofi Kingston. I mean, that's an Elimination Chamber match. I mean, if AJ Styles was signed with WWE at the time, that's an Elimination Chamber match that could have taken place 10 years ago, realistically. I think that goes to show WWE's problem, doesn't it? That's the problem there. That's the problem there. So it's good to see Kofi, though, involved in the main event picture, doing singles matches again. I know some people. It was interesting, Kofi Mania, because everyone wanted it, and as is the way sometimes with pro wrestling fans and fans in general of anything, you want something so bad, and then you get it, and then you move on to the next thing. You don't want it anymore, and I think that was the problem with Kofi Mania and the Kofi Kingston WWE Championship reign, was that we wanted it, we got it. And then we wanted to move on to something else. And then people were saying that he wasn't a good champion, or he wasn't believable as champion, or they didn't like him as champion. I thought he did a great job. I thought he deserved better in terms of he was booked great as a champion. He didn't do jobs. He beat everyone. Great title defenses, all that kind of stuff. Then he lost to Brock. He's a tag team guy again. Never got another opportunity at it. Never even flirted with being back in that main event scene. He was the tag team guy again. And the way they justified that of, Kofi Mania was nice, but it was a movement. It was a one-time thing. We're moving back onto, normal stuff again. Normality has risen its ugly head in the world of WWE, and that's it. And I always felt, you spent such a long time elevating Kofi Kingston there. You gave him a WrestleMania moment. You gave him numerous WWE Championship defenses against big opponents. And then you put all of that work, that time, that money into building that star. It just seems a waste, frankly, to then drop off and then just go, okay, we're going to be going back to Kofi Kingston doing that again. For me, I feel like it feels like a waste. Vince McMahon talks about it. When you invest so much into a brand, you have to get your money's worth out of it. And Lord knows they've got their money's worth out of the New Day brand and Kofi Kingston brand. He's been there for so many years, but I think he needs to be. There's no reason why he can't still be in that main event scene. Should Kofi Kingston be the WWE champion again? Probably not. But there's no reason why he can't be in main events. There's no reason why after WrestleMania, if Drew McIntyre needs a 1-month feud, why he can't face Kofi Kingston. Why Kofi Kingston can't say, look, I never got another opportunity at being WWE champion. I never got a one-on-one rematch for the WWE championship after I lost it. I was told to throw out pancakes again and be the New Day, power of positivity guy again. I never got another shot. Drew McIntyre, you're this fighting champion. You're giving everyone opportunities. Well, I know I got my opportunity before for Kofi Mania, but I deserve to get an opportunity once again. Everyone else is getting rematches. I thought we got rid of rematch clauses, and we did, apart from just for me, because for everyone else gets a rematch, apart from Kofi Kingston. There's a story there. There's a story there, isn't there? And I think I'd like to see it. I'd like to see that. We're 5 minutes away. 5 minutes away from Elimination Chamber going on the air. Be interesting to see what we're going to start with. I don't think they've announced it yet. Ashley Robinson says, let's see if Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair are going to get along in this match tonight. And I think that's the story, is that they probably won't. They probably won't. And that, of course, leads into the WrestleMania match. Of course, I mean, on the flip side of things, they could maybe get along, win the tag team titles, and then, as I mentioned, go into WrestleMania, and it's, we're tag team champions until WrestleMania, but it's, healthy competition, and once we get to WrestleMania, then it's on, all that kind of stuff. Wouldn't be surprised. They've done it before. Ultimately, if you're a fan of pro wrestling and WWE, if you're a fan of pro wrestling or WWE, if you've been a fan for, say, I don't know, like 10 years or 15 years, there's only like so many storylines you tend to find, and you see storylines be repeated but with different characters. So I again, that's why I say I could see Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair doing John Cena, Shawn Michaels WrestleMania 23, or I could see them doing what they've done time and time again, where the reason why they don't win tonight is because they can't get on, and then this leads off to their WrestleMania showdown in April. So I wouldn't be surprised. Like I said, WWE tends to repeat the storylines, as it were, when it comes to that, but just with different characters. So we're about 3 minutes away from going on the air for Elimination Chamber. Of course, if you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner, smash a like on the like button too. And of course, super chats are open. You can do that by clicking the $sign if you want to support and contribute to the channel. It would be much appreciated. Peter Rosenberg is currently on camera talking right now. Former 24/7 champion Pete Rosenberg. Speaking of the 24/7 championship as well, of course, the current WWE 24/7 champion is rapper Bad Bunny. Now, Bad Bunny was on Saturday Night Live last night. He was the musical guest, and he had the WWE 24/7 championship with him. Goes to show, that's why WWE are having Bad Bunny around at the moment. As I mentioned before, I never have a problem with it. Never have a problem with any celebrity involvement with pro wrestling, any athlete involvement. I didn't have a problem with Tyson Fury wrestling at Crown Jewel. I didn't have a problem with Floyd Mayweather wrestling at WrestleMania. I don't have a problem with Bad Bunny wrestling at WrestleMania. I never, ever, ever have a problem with any of it, because at the end of the day, this is a business and it makes business sense. If you can get fans of Bad Bunny, which there are millions, I mean, he's one of the most streamed stars on Spotify. If you can get even a fraction of his fans that have never watched WWE before to watch the product, to buy merchandise, even if it's Bad Bunny WWE merchandise, that's all money for WWE, and that's what they want. So it always makes complete sense. It always makes complete sense. So don't have a problem with it. And look at the publicity. I mean, Saturday Night Live, I don't know how it does in the ratings nowadays. Probably not amazing, because television doesn't do great in the ratings. But in terms of the coverage on social media, in terms of the coverage on YouTube and all that kind of stuff, it's such a win. It's such a win for WWE. It's so obvious. It's so obvious. And to be honest, I'm surprised WWE doesn't do stuff like that more often, because I mean, there are fans. There are very popular celebrities, athletes, music stars, actors, you name it, that are huge fans of WWE. You know, WWE's been around for years. So there, and you know, these fans, if you give them a call, you know, like a Bad Bunny or whoever, and said, look, do you want to get involved with WWE? Especially at the moment, you only have to show up on a Monday or a Friday. We don't do live events. It's not like it was back in the day. You can show up, you can accompany someone to the ring, you can cut promos, you can do whatever. I'm surprised WWE doesn't do it more often. I think maybe they wouldn't do it more often. They wouldn't do it more often, probably because it would upset the talent, like it's taking a spot away from the boys and the girls in the back, or maybe just because they don't want to expose the business. That's what they would have said historically, but expose the business to who? Everyone knows the situation. Everyone knows it's a work at this point. So we're about 60 seconds from going on the air. We're going to be opening with an Elimination Chamber match. I think it's the Universal Championship #1 contender match. I think. So we are just about to go on the air. So here we go. We are on the road to WrestleMania. It is Elimination Chamber. You can see the chamber link fences behind me. Yes, look, you can kind of feel it like that. It's not, it's green screen. So who's excited? I'm excited. It's the road to WrestleMania. It feels a bit weird, I suppose, because even last year on the road to WrestleMania, I know obviously we had WrestleMania, close set, blah, 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 but the road to it was still very much normal, wasn't it? You had the crowd at the Rumble, you still had the crowd at Elimination Chamber, you had the crowd there at Super Showdown, you know, you had the crowd up until March, didn't you? So there was only a couple of Raws and SmackDowns that we didn't have crowd before we went to WrestleMania. So this really is the first proper road to WrestleMania that's been completely virtual and completely fanless. So it does feel a bit weird. It does feel a bit weird, but this is the world we live in right now, guys. And that's the case. Which, by the way, I hope everyone is staying safe out there. Of course, I know we have a lot of people watching from all over the world. So if you're based in the United States, you're based whenever these weather issues going on at the moment, I hope you're all staying safe, staying warm, staying inside, and staying healthy. As we're seeing the cold open to Elimination Chamber, we're seeing the Then, Now, and Forever preview package, which means we are starting. So I'm going to turn the volume up on that for myself, for my viewing pleasure. Again, well, I think we're going to be opening with an Elimination Chamber match. I think it's going to be the Universal Championship #1 contender Elimination Chamber match. So possibly we have the winner of that Elimination Chamber match face Roman Reigns, probably in the main event, I would think, maybe. Certainly going to be interesting. I thought they might do a scenario where they have that Elimination Chamber match as like the main event, and then right after the Chamber you have Roman Reigns come out, Paul Heyman's written it into the contract, go, no, you have to face him straight afterwards. A bit like an Edge, New Year's Revolution, John Cena kind of thing. I thought they could do that, but that's obviously not the situation that they're going in. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Click that like button as well, really does help us out here on YouTube. Got the rankings, get into people's recommendation feeds. As I mentioned, subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Click the notification bell. We post daily videos talking about WWE, AEW, Impact Wrestling, and New Japan Pro Wrestling. And we do watch-alongs for events like this. Of course, WrestleMania is on the horizon, so we'll be doing a watch-along for that. So if you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner, click that notification bell, you'll be notified when we post our daily videos talking about the news, talking about the big headlines, the big stories, as well as some featured videos talking about lists, top 5s, top 10s, all that kind of stuff, and these watch-alongs. If you click that subscribe button and that notification bell, you'll be notified when we post any of those videos or go live in the future. You can join the great community that we are growing here at WrestleNews 365. What matches is everyone looking forward to the most? Oh, I just saw that Otis spot. Do you remember that Otis spot from last year at the Elimination Chamber where he ran through the pod? That was awesome. That was such a good spot. That's when Otis was he was so over. He was so hot, wasn't he, at that point last year? It was, again, it's just weird going back to that event last year because it was the last pay-per-view with fans in attendance, and it just... I mean, I know everyone says it feels like a million years ago, but it really does feel like a million years ago. It almost feels like a pay-per-view that doesn't exist. You know, not only can you not sort of remember that it happened, it's a bit like, oh, it feels like another universe. It really, really does. As always, WWE's production quality and production level for these cold opens is just amazing. The production level for WWE has always been great. It just always has been great, hasn't it? So how many days is away from WrestleMania are we now at this point? It's got to be not long. Obviously, it's April, isn't it? April the 11th. They moved it back. They moved the show back, didn't they? Because initially it was going to be like April 1st or something like that, but they moved it back to April 11th, which of course is the same day, 10 years to the day that Edge retired and relinquished the World Heavyweight Championship back in 2011. As we are now inside the ThunderDome, Pyro is exploding, as they would say, Pyro and Ballyhoo. And Elimination Chamber is on the air. Hashtag WWE Chamber. This is exciting. Why did Corey Graves just shout, "That's what I'm talking about"? What a different way to open it. Corey Graves just marking out. This is interesting. I heard they mentioned this on Raw on Monday, and I wanted to pick him up at the time. They said it was invented by Triple H and shown to the world by Eric Bischoff. Of course, Eric Bischoff, if you're not aware, that was the storyline at the time, storyline general manager of Raw. He, in the storyline, introduced the Elimination Chamber as a way to one-up SmackDown, who the prior month had a Hell in a Cell match between The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar. So he goes, I've got to up it, and he did the Elimination Chamber match at Survivor Series 2002. Is it legitimately Triple H's idea? I think it might have been. Because I know he wanted to do a War Games match. That's why they do it in NXT. He's wanted to do a War Games match for years. It was just the case of Vince McMahon doesn't want to do the two rings deal. He's never understood the War Games concept, really. It's not been for him. But the first match is the Universal Championship #1 contender Elimination Chamber match. As you can see there, the competitors are all on the screen We have our graphics for all of the matches here tonight, or the ones that I could prepare ahead of time, because, of course, the United States Championship match has changed. But here comes Kevin Owens. So Kevin Owens won't be starting the match. Kevin Owens will be in the pod. As we get closer to WrestleMania season as well, when it comes to Kevin Owens, that means we're going to get another KO Mania shirt, which I always love. Those KO Mania shirts, what he does. Kevin Owens looks in actually really good shape. Yeah, KO Mania. He does those KO Mania shirts where it's the old school WrestleMania logo, but KO printed over it. So this year would be for him KO Mania 5? He did WrestleMania 32, WrestleMania 33, WrestleMania 34, 35, 36, 37 then. So it'll be WrestleMania 6. So do we have WrestleMania? It would be KO Mania 6. That'd be great. So KO is in the Elimination Chamber. I know I mentioned this before, and I know I'll mention it a million times during the stream, so I apologize for repeating myself here. But I really miss the old Elimination Chamber. I always preferred the old Elimination Chamber. Well, who better to follow Kevin Owens than Sami Zayn himself? The Great Liberator. He's got his documentary crew with him. It's a documentary crew, and it also reminds me like Sami Zayn's producing his own episode of Punk. Sami Zayn, I don't know what he's doing. He's got his hands up in the air and he's doing high knees. He's obviously poured water over himself, and he's wearing what colour is that? Sort of khaki coloured pants. He's poured water all over himself. So it looks like he's, I say this delicately for YouTube, pissed himself. Sami Zayn talking trash to Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens saying, just get in your pods so we can get Jey out here. So I think what they've done as well, which is a good bit of technology that they hadn't previously done. I think they did this the last few years. But in addition to obviously upgrading the chamber and making it way more modern and safer, frankly, for the talent, they also mic the pods. Referee Jessica Carr is telling the documentary crew they have to leave. So the referee has kicked out. The ref has kicked out the documentary crew. But what they've also done, as I mentioned, they've mic'd up the pod so you can hear everything they say. But here comes the next competitor. It's King Corbin. So King Corbin's going to be in a pod as well. Here comes King Corbin. Why is he still King Corbin at this point? Why? When did you win the King of the Ring? 2019? And again, that King gimmick is outdated as anything. It hasn't done anything for the last 3 winners, whether it was King Corbin, King Sheamus, King Barrett. It's done nothing for them. It's an albatross around their neck. It's such an old hat gimmick. Why can't you just win the King of the Ring and then be happy that you're the best in-ring competitor? Why do you have to then wear a crown, carry a scepter, have a cape, be annoying, tell everyone you're the king, have this identity crisis that suddenly you're royalty? What's so infuriating with that is that they lost that for ages. In the Attitude Era, when they had King of the Ring, you just want a trophy. Or just nothing, And they got it right in 2002. Brock Lesnar won it and he got an opportunity at SummerSlam. Such a good way to do the King of the Ring. And then they only did it once. So annoying. So annoying. But King Corbin has just entered the pod. He got locked in the pod and then he complained that he wasn't allowed to get his jacket off. Now here comes Jey Uso. So he will also be in a pod. So that means who's starting the match? That means that Cesaro and Daniel Bryan are going to be starting the match. That is 2 great people to start a match. I am down for that. I think if you look at the progression that Jey Uso, by the way, has made over the course of the last 9 months or so, since that feud with Roman Reigns. I mean, Jey Uso, he is a bona fide single superstar at this point. Kevin Owens is headbutting a pod. Jey Uso is confronting Kevin Owens. He's talking trash. Kevin Owens is headbutting a pod. Careful, KO. You know, you got a match to go through. Who does he think he is? Goldberg, headbutting the wall before he before he has to step in the ring. But yeah, Jey Uso, he's a bona fide single superstar now. It'll be interesting to see what happens when Jimmy comes back. And of course, Jimmy's back at any point. Any point. But we've got Cesaro and Daniel Bryan starting things off, which is great. It is awesome. You know for a fact they've pitched that as well. Daniel Bryan's like, oh, please can I start? Please can I start? God, let's have Cesaro go the whole way. If Cesaro wins, I'm going to cheer. He's my pick. He's my pick. Oh, here we go. We got a video package. It wouldn't be a pay-per-view without an immediate video package, would it? That's what WWE does nowadays. Immediate video package straight away. Daniel Bryan and Cesaro started up a Hell in a Cell match, though. That is great. That is going to be so badass. That is going to be awesome. That is going to be a lot of fun. I'm very excited about that one. Remember, if you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner, smash a like on the like button too. And super chats are open. Be sure to click the $sign if you want to contribute and support the channel. It will be very much appreciated. As we're seeing a promo package for this Elimination Chamber match. Of course, remember, winner faces Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship later on tonight at Elimination Chamber. So who wins this one? I think, again, my three picks were, and I do have a proper pick, but my three people I said I think would win would be Cesaro, Daniel Bryan, and Kevin Owens. But I'm really hoping it'll be Cesaro. I'm really hoping it'll be Cesaro who wins it. I think it's probably more likely it's Kevin Owens, but I'm hoping Cesaro. It's Cesaro's night. It's Cesaro's night. Now, is Cesaro going to win the Universal Championship? No, he's not going to win the Universal Championship. Is it going to be his night? Is he going to get the match against Roman Reigns? I really hope so. I really hope so. I really do hope that's the case. Again, I would not be surprised, by the way. Now, I know absolutely Reigns could be in the main event. It's Roman Reigns, after all, he does main events. But I wouldn't be surprised if we have this Elimination Chamber match, if it is Cesaro, if it is Kevin Owens, whoever wins it, I wouldn't be surprised if literally the moment they win it, Roman Reigns' music hits, and then Paul Heyman says, right, this is your match. This is the match. Universal Championship match, ring the bell. I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked. And if it is, I'm clipping this, I'm putting it on social media, I'm putting it on YouTube the next day. Here it comes, the Swiss Cyborg himself. Here comes Cesaro. It's his night. I'm telling you, it's his night. What a strange placement for the video package, though. They sort of have 4 entrances and then suddenly they do a promo package. Very strange. But here he is. Cesaro looks ready. He is focused. And we've got Cesaro and Daniel Bryan starting up the match. What does everyone think about that? Let me know your thoughts in the live chat about Daniel Bryan and Cesaro starting off this Elimination Chamber match. See Jey Uso clapping his hands. Sami Zayn was looking in the opposite direction, and Cesaro just hit the pod, made Sami Zayn jump, and then said, "I wasn't even ready. It's not even funny." But here comes Daniel Bryan. I know it's absolutely possible that Daniel Bryan could win tonight. I just think, given what Daniel Bryan's been doing recently, Daniel Bryan's very happy putting people over. Daniel Bryan's very, very happy putting people over. So, again, I wouldn't be shocked. I really, really wouldn't be shocked if Daniel Bryan doesn't win this one. What I would really love to see is Daniel Bryan, Cesaro start the match. Daniel Bryan, Cesaro finish the match. I think that's the story they're going to go for here. But again, Kevin Owens is the wild card though, because we know the situation when it comes to Roman Reigns. I wouldn't be surprised if they do something where maybe Jey Uso eliminates Kevin Owens or that kind of situation, and they do Daniel Bryan and Cesaro coast to coast. That might be the direction that they go in. But here we go. It's about to kick off here. So the bell is about to ring, and Cesaro and Daniel Bryan start the match. 15 minutes into Elimination Chamber. They know how to take their time. Shoulder block by Cesaro. Gets a 1 count on Daniel Bryan. I'm not sure about those trunks for Cesaro, those tights, because they look really bad on camera. Really bad. They're one of those ones that I think they're like pinstripes or something like that, and they just look awful. Daniel Bryan, oh, beautiful tilt-a-wheel backbreaker by Cesaro. Gets a 2 count. Daniel Bryan kicks out. You can see KO lurking in the background and Sami Zayn. Some great camera work. WWE production's always really good for events like this. Always really good. Beautiful uppercut by Cesaro as well. Again, that's my prediction. We're going to see Cesaro and Daniel Bryan go coast to coast here, as King Corbin watches on as well. Cesaro whips Daniel Bryan into the ropes, does the traditional Bryan backflip off the top into a clothesline. Very nice. Bryan gets a stiff kick to the chest, knocks him back down to the hamstring. Cesaro though gets an uppercut of his own. They're trading uppercuts. Here we go. Shades of Daniel Bryan and William Regal. But Cesaro, if you're going to have European uppercuts, the European is going to win it. Oh, flip. Oh, gosh. Daniel Bryan flips Cesaro over the top rope, goes into the fence, or the steel chain fence. Daniel Bryan's going to the top right now. He's going to dive onto Cesaro. Oh, it was actually a knee to the face. Now Cesaro's grabbing the shoulder. We're seeing a replay here when Cesaro flips over the top and actually goes into the steel chain fence. Now Bryan's going to go up to the top here. I think he's going to go for his missile drop kick, which is such an awful landing all the time. Goes for a cover though. Gets a 2 count. Bryan's going to go for the kicks once again to Cesaro. Daniel Bryan's going to go for a Frankensteiner, it looks like. Goes for a Frankensteiner. Oh, but you can't do it on Cesaro because he just catches him. He's holding him with... I don't even know if he's holding him. He's holding him with his neck. Going to go for a power bomb. Actually, Bryan gets in the end though. Gets the Frankensteiner. Some separation. Bryan might go for the knee here. Oh, it gets a lariat. Cesaro just absolutely clotheslines the hell out of Daniel Bryan. Bryan's actually favouring his knee. Ever since he did that knee to Cesaro on the outside, he's been favouring his knee. But he goes for the running knee there. Actually just gets clotheslined. Does a spin in the ring. Cesaro goes for a cover. Gets a 2 count. Now Kevin Owens is now shouting to Cesaro, go after his left knee. I mean, legitimately, if Daniel Bryan does have a knee injury, that is not ideal, considering that if he does go coast to coast. Now Daniel Bryan has transitioned now into, he's going to go for an armbar, or a cross arm breaker actually. But Cesaro actually rolls through, clutches his hands. He's going to try lifts Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan's in an awkward position. He could land on his head. Cesaro lifts him up. Daniel Bryan rolls through. Now gets a cross arm breaker. He might get it. He's going to hyperextend the elbow. He's nearly got it. Goes for a pinning combination. Rolls through though. Daniel Bryan just gets a huge uppercut on Cesaro. He's going to go for it against Cesaro just looks pretty PO'd by it, if anything, to be honest. And once again, trading uppercuts. What's great, without the crowd, you can hear it even more. Those uppercuts are brutal. Oh, Cesaro goes for again another brutal uppercut. Now, I believe for the opening part of the match, it's 5 minutes, and then people enter every... When did they say? 2 minutes? Something like that? I wasn't paying attention to the rules. So I'll show you. And Cesaro's got Daniel Bryan up now for a delayed vertical suplex. Just literally, he's walking around the ring. This is unbelievable. Goes for a cover, gets a 2 count. As the countdown has begun for the next person to enter the match. 3, 2, 1. Who is going to enter? So we have the sinister music, the suspense music about who's going to enter the ring. You can hear Sami Zayn shouting, "Not mine." It's King Corbin. You know what? I loved hearing Sami Zayn go, "Not mine, not mine, not mine." And King Corbin goes straight after Cesaro, throws him into the pod, and now attacking him in the corner. Daniel Bryan's going to go after King Corbin. Imagine the reaction. Imagine the reaction if King Corbin won this match. I think I would just end the stream. I would go, "Oh, no, I'm not watching this." Now King Corbin is just shoving Daniel Bryan's head into the fence. That looked nasty. Really nasty. You would think, you know, be careful, Corbin, considering Daniel Bryan's past. Jey Uso is actually sitting down in his pod right now. Oof. King Corbin just hip tosses Cesaro into the ring. I mean, legitimately, Jey Uso is just sat down. He's just chilling out inside of his pod. He loves it. I thought that looked... They just showed a slow-mo replay of they had Daniel Bryan's head. King Corbin had Daniel Bryan's head through the chain, and then he just sort of shoved it, and Daniel Bryan's head just whiplashed. I mean, it looked really nasty. Again, considering the circumstances of Daniel Bryan's past, you would think, be careful. Daniel Bryan looks fine, though. He's hitting his drop kicks into the corner on Cesaro and King Corbin. He missed, though. Now Cesaro's doing it of his own. He's doing running uppercuts on Daniel Bryan and King Corbin. Going for it again. Oh, and a deep 6. Nice. Deep 6 by King Corbin, and another on Daniel Bryan this time. Goes for the pinfall on Daniel Bryan, and Bryan kicks out at 2. That was close. Goes for the pinfall on Cesaro this time. Cesaro kicks out. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Bottom right hand corner, smash a like on the like button too. Smash a like on the like button if you are excited for Elimination Chamber. Smash a like if you think that Cesaro is going to win the match. He's my pick. He's my hope. Corbin's now working over Daniel Bryan. Throws Daniel Bryan to the outside of the chamber. Corbin's going to go work on the knee once again of Daniel Bryan. Oof. He picks Daniel Bryan's knee up and he just threw him into the pod that's currently housing Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn's telling him to go away. It comes on the screen that trending #1 in the United States is hashtag WWE Chamber, which of course is the hashtag for Elimination Chamber. Now Cesaro's working over King Corbin. Oof. And King Corbin just pushed Cesaro into the pod, but it was right on the corner of it. It looked nasty. Once again, King Corbin's going to smash Daniel Bryan's knee into the pod. And he crashed him into the cameraman as well. Kevin Owens is shouting, bring him in, put a hold on him, make him tap. Now King Corbin is wrapping Daniel Bryan's knee around the ring post between the pod that's containing Jey Uso. Daniel Bryan's trying to kick him off, but King Corbin's still going for him. Now Jey Uso once again is just sat down in the pod. He is loving life. Corbin throws Cesaro into this chain link fence that surrounds the Elimination Chamber, and a big right hand to Cesaro as well. Corbin's on fire. He's taking out Daniel Bryan. He's taking out Cesaro. He's just loving life right now. Now Corbin's going to go for work on Daniel Bryan in the ring again. Going to go for a backdrop on Daniel Bryan. Just plants Daniel Bryan. Goes for a cover once again. Bryan kicks out at 2. And King Corbin looks frustrated this time. And Cesaro's back in the ring. Cesaro's now going after King Corbin. Cesaro hitting right hands and uppercuts. But King Corbin, who is, he's dominating at the moment, frankly. A knee to the gut of Cesaro sends him to the outside. I would think we're probably not long away from someone else entering this match, I think. Now Corbin's going after Daniel Bryan once again. As the countdown begins for the next person to enter the match. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Who's coming in next? Either Owens, Zayn, or Uso. Who's it going to be? Oh, it's Sami Zayn. They moved away from the camera angle at the top. The whole point of the camera angle at the top is that you can see who's coming in. They moved away from it, so you couldn't tell. It's Sami Zayn, though. Sami Zayn's refusing to leave. He's closing his door. He's holding his door shut. He's refusing. He's telling him to stay away. Oh, and King Corbin was trying to get Sami Zayn out of the pod. Daniel Bryan just flies into the camera shot out of nowhere, attacks King Corbin, and Sami Zayn, he's happy. He's not leaving. Sami Zayn's shouting, that's what you get. Well, Cesaro, he's managed to get in the pod. Of course, remember when Cesaro went into the pod earlier, he actually knocked the glass out of the way, so he just walked in. Now Cesaro's going straight after Sami Zayn. Now remember this time last year, oh what an uppercut. This time last year, Sami Zayn was part of a faction with Cesaro. Helped Sami Zayn win the Intercontinental Championship. Cesaro just laying uppercuts on Sami Zayn. And once again throwing him into a pod, so Cesaro's going to town on Sami Zayn right now. Kevin Owens and Jey Uso, the only two not in the match at this point. We have 4 people in the match. Daniel Bryan, Sami Zayn, Cesaro, and King Corbin. As Daniel Bryan is throwing Sami Zayn into the fence that surrounds this Elimination Chamber structure. Oh, but King Corbin once again just clotheslines. It was a clothesline / forearm to the face of Daniel Bryan. That looked nasty. King Corbin once again working on Daniel Bryan. What's his beef with Daniel Bryan? He's constantly attacking Daniel Bryan so far tonight. So once again, we have 4 people in the match right now. No eliminations. We have King Corbin, Sami Zayn, Daniel Bryan, and Cesaro. Bryan and Cesaro started the match. No eliminations, as I mentioned. But what's interesting, as I mentioned, is a couple of times the camera work's been a bit iffy so far. Oh, Sami Zayn goes for a haluva kick on Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan moves out the way. He actually kicks the pod that's containing Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is giggling. We see a replay of it. He goes for a haluva kick and Sami Zayn just kicks the pod that contains his best friend, Kevin Owens. Daniel Bryan's going to the top rope. He's going to go for something, but King Corbin manages to cut him off at the pass. Remember that super chats are open. Be sure to, if you want to support and donate to the channel, you can click the $sign as a superplex by King Corbin onto Daniel Bryan in the middle of the ring. King DJ says, "Can we see the screen?" Hubert says, "Please show the match." I wish I could, but unfortunately WrestleNews 365 does not have the rights to show the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Sami Zayn goes for a cover on Cesaro, and Cesaro kicks out. Now Zayn is now the only person standing at this point. Sami Zayn is the only person standing out of Daniel Bryan, King Corbin, Cesaro, and Zayn. Owens and Jey Uso remain in the pods. Of course, remember, the winner of this match will face Roman Reigns. Oh, Sami Zayn just charged at Cesaro. Cesaro lifted him up, and Sami Zayn's climbed on top of a pod. It's the pod containing Jey Uso. Now, Sami Zayn is at the top of the pod. Cesaro is climbing. Sami Zayn manages to kick him off. And Sami Zayn, what is he going to do? Sami Zayn is trying to hide. Cesaro and Zayn are on the top of a pod. This looks dangerous. Sami Zayn looking like he's going to try and run away. He's trying to retreat. But Cesaro and Zayn are right at the top of this structure. This is going to be nasty. Ooh, Cesaro is still going for an uppercut. Cesaro's hitting these vicious uppercuts while Sami Zayn hangs on, or a rake to the eyes. Zayn's trying to run away by climbing across the structure here. And Cesaro's in pursuit at this point. So Sami Zayn and Cesaro are they're halfway up the structure. They are climbing up one of these walls. And Cesaro and Zayn are... Cesaro's smashing Sami Zayn's face into the wall here. This looks dangerous. Cesaro's climbing up even higher. Cesaro is hanging off the ceiling. Oh my god. And he kicks Sami Zayn down. Oh my word. Nice spot. Cesaro's just hanging there and he's doing pull-ups. Unbelievable. Cesaro's doing pull-ups on the Elimination Chamber. Incredible. Cesaro just kicks Sami Zayn from the sort of top part of the chamber to the floor, but he jumps down. He's caught by King Corbin. Incredible strength. Corbin throws Cesaro into the wall of the chamber, and a version of a snake eyes, and then a clotheslines him into the ring. I feel like I jinxed WWE's production quality because I said I was so good, the production quality. They've missed so much stuff. Corbin's going to go for a choke slam to Daniel Bryan. So now Corbin's the only one standing. Still no eliminations. Cesaro goes for an uppercut to Corbin. Corbin's fighting back with forearms of his own. Corbin goes for a clothesline, ducks it. Cesaro, gets caught. Goes for another choke slam. Cesaro's hitting some elbows. King Corbin charges him and his shoulder goes into the ring post. Again, still no eliminations. Cesaro's going to the top rope. A beautiful reverse uppercut. Corbin is down in the ring. And I think Cesaro's going to now go for a sharpshooter, or is he going to go for a swing? It's time for the Swiss swing. So we're 30 minutes into this match. And Cesaro is still swinging King Corbin. Actually, about 15 minutes into this match, and he's swinging him. And now he's going to step through. He's going to go for the sharpshooter. Steps over, and it's locked in. Cesaro's got the sharpshooter in on King Corbin. Is he going to tap? We're going to see our first elimination. We do. King Corbin is eliminated. We have our first elimination. King Corbin has been eliminated by Cesaro. As the countdown continues. Who's going to be next? Is it going to be Kevin Owens or Jey Uso? As King Corbin rolls out of the chamber, Kevin Owens is shouting bye. Going to be Owens or Uso? Bet it's Owens. It's Kevin Owens. In comes Kevin Owens. Sami Zayn grabs him straight away. Sami Zayn's trying to build up a truce, it looks like. The four were best friends. Sami says, let's do this together. We have history. He says they don't want me in this match. They don't want you in this match. We're not the poster boys. Sami Zayn is saying, let's do this together. Kevin Owens is nodding. Sounds like old times. Kevin Owens. Sami says, oh my god, what are you doing? As Kevin Owens is throwing Sami Zayn into all of these pods. And a clothesline to Sami Zayn on the outside. Kevin Owens not doing the Sami Zayn tag team anymore. Now Kevin Owens is now brawling with Sami Zayn, with Daniel Bryan rather, in the ring. Kevin Owens, it's a German suplex on Daniel Bryan. I haven't seen that from Kevin Owens for a while. Owens and Cesaro trading uppercuts and shots to the face. Uppercuts and forearms, actually. Cesaro's hitting uppercuts, or actually goes for a backslide. Throws over. Oh, and an enziguri. Beautiful step-up enziguri by Kevin Owens to Cesaro. Daniel Bryan hits a boot to the face of Kevin Owens. Now he's got a backpack sleeper hold on. So the only elimination we've had so far is King Corbin. King Corbin's gone from the match. Oh, that was amazing. Kevin Owens is going to cover Cesaro. Kicks out. Basically what they did is Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens is going to cover Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan had a backpack sleeper hold on Kevin Owens, and Kevin Owens got out of it by doing a senton onto Cesaro. Beautiful move. Sami Zayn climbs the top rope, but he's knocked off at the pass by Kevin Owens. Right hands and chops to his former best friend. Sami Zayn is biting. He's biting Kevin Owens' shoulder, or biting his tricep, as Big E would say, the tricep meat. Sami Zayn doing elbows to Kevin Owens. Owens now headbutts to Sami Zayn as well. So Owens and Zayn are brawling on the top rope. Owens falls into the ring. Sami Zayn climbs to the top rope. Oh, jumps over, and a super kick. Super kick by KO on Sami Zayn. As all four men look to be down, Kevin Owens is now back on his feet. Sami Zayn doesn't look to be in a good position, as it looks like KO is going to go for a cannonball. Cannonball on Cesaro. He's going to do all three, I think. Cannonball on Daniel Bryan. And looks like we're going to get a final one on Sami Zayn and a cannonball to Sami Zayn. If you enjoyed this match, smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. He's going to go for another one. Oh, Sami Zayn goes for a kick. Rolls through. Beautiful. Reverse exploder suplex. Beautiful. Oh, elevated uppercut by Cesaro to Zayn. Oh, and the running knee. Is that going to be it? Daniel Bryan goes for the running knee. Oh, and a pop-up powerbomb by KO to Daniel Bryan. All four men are down, which I bet is going to time perfectly with the entrance of a certain Mr. Jey Uso. It probably will be. All four guys are down. It's been a fun match so far. As we see replays, see the uppercut on Sami Zayn, running knee on Cesaro, and then we see the pop-up powerbomb on Daniel Bryan. But all four guys are down. Jey Uso still yet to enter this match. Only one elimination so far, that being King Corbin. Remember, the winner of this match faces Roman Reigns later on tonight for the Universal Championship. Sami Zayn once again is begging Kevin Owens to become friends. Oh, Kevin Owens hits a neck breaker on the back of his knee to Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn kicks out. Kevin Owens is going for... Oh, that was that. It was a version of Ushigoroshi. Just dropped Daniel Bryan on his head. Oh, that looked nasty. Kevin Owens means business. When I see a replay... Oh... I think it's an Ushigoroshi, but a different version, sort of a cradle version. Kevin Owens now going after Cesaro. As we're awaiting the entrance of Jey Uso, the countdown is on. 4, 3, 2, 1. And in comes Jey Uso. The pod is open and Kevin Owens is going straight for Jey Uso. Here we go. Both guys are brawling. We're getting a million WWE camera cuts as always. Oh, Kevin Owens throws Jey Uso into the chain around the Elimination Chamber structure. Might have knocked out his teeth. And KO is just smashing Jey Uso's face. Oh. Kevin Owens throws Jey Uso's face into one of the pods. So all of the competitors are now in the match. Oh, Kevin Owens throws Jey Uso into the pod. She knocked, I think, the back part of the glass out of the pod. Opens the door from the other side again. So KO is just beating the hell out of Jey Uso throughout this structure. 4 guys are brawling on one side of the structure now. All 5 guys are. And Owens been thrown back in the ring. Cesaro's fighting with Sami Zayn. Daniel Bryan's brawling with Jey Uso. This is just chaos. It's just chaos at this point. It's pure chaos. Only one elimination though, that being King Corbin. Kevin Owens is climbing to the top. Oh, he's going to do something crazy. Oh my god. Oh, Kevin Owens just did a moonsault off the pod onto all 4 guys. Man. That is a 270 plus pound guy. Kevin Owens just did a moonsault off a pod onto 4 WWE superstars. It's incredible. Kevin Owens just stunners Daniel Bryan on the outside. He's going to go for it again. Stunner on Cesaro. Sami Zayn goes for a haluva kick, misses it, and a stunner on Sami Zayn. This is going to be it. So Sami Zayn's going to be eliminated. 2, 3. Sami Zayn went for a haluva kick and just openly missed for no reason. But Kevin Owens has eliminated Sami Zayn. So Sami Zayn and King Corbin have been eliminated. We're down to 4. We've got Kevin Owens, Cesaro, Daniel Bryan, and Jey Uso. Sami Zayn saying it's not fair as he leaves the structure. Oh my god. Jey Uso has slammed Kevin Owens' arm in through the door. He's got Owens' arms trapped outside the door. He's squishing his shoulder. Oh my god, it's brutal. The door was open because they were taking Sami Zayn out of the structure. As they're shutting the door, Owens' arm is there and Jey Uso's just slammed it and he's got and a super kick. He's trapped. His arm is wedged in the door and he just super kicked Kevin Owens. This might be it. This might be it for Kevin Owens. What a spot that was. Awesome. And another super kick. Jey Uso is now going to the top rope. He's going to go for the splash. This might be it. Bang. Splash to Kevin Owens. I think that's all she wrote. 1, 2, 3. And Kevin Owens is eliminated. Wow. And that was, to be fair, that was clean. That was clean. You can talk about slamming the door into his arm into the door. But, I mean, using the structure, to me, that wasn't a heel move. That was completely babyface. It's a great spot, hits the splash, and Jey Uso now has victories over the likes of AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens, on a pay-per-view as well. The development that Jey Uso has. Kevin Owens is eliminated. We are down to 3 men. We have Daniel Bryan, Cesaro, and Jey Uso. That means the Cesaro push is happening. The Cesaro push is on. It's Cesaro's night. I'm telling you, it's Cesaro's night. Daniel Bryan's got an injured knee. Kevin Owens is out of the match. Whoa, what an uppercut. Now Cesaro's going to top rope. Cesaro's going to top rope. He's going to go for an elbow drop. Hits an elbow drop. Macho Man Randy Savage style. Covers Jey Uso. Oh, it's a 2 count. Jey Uso hit the ropes. He went for a dive, I think. And Cesaro just bang. Hits an uppercut. Gets an elbow drop off the top. I'd be down for a Jey Uso Kevin Owens feud. I think that'd be great. Again, it's more development, it's more push for Jey Uso. I love it. I love it. That's a bold step by WWE, and I'm all for it. What are they going for now? Looks like Cesaro's going to go for a swing. Oh man, he's going for a swing to Jey Uso, and his head nearly actually hit the beam instead of the. Oh, Daniel Bryan going for a dive. Cesaro catches him. I hope he's not going to do the same thing because he nearly just killed Jey Uso. Oh, he just throws Daniel Bryan into the ring. Daniel Bryan's still holding the knee. Jey Uso just smashed his head previously onto the beam that's supporting the structure. This is getting brutal. Cesaro's going top rope. Oh, and a kick right to the gut by Daniel Bryan. This match has picked up. It has picked up pace in the last or 5 minutes or so since that Kevin Owens elimination. So that was a big moment. So what do we think the finish is going to be? I think the finish at this point, someone's going to eliminate Jey Uso. And what does Daniel Bryan have? Daniel Bryan has a knee injury. And if he gets the sharpshooter locked in on him, injured knee, it's set up for Cesaro to win. It's set up. And I hope that happens. Went for the elevated uppercut. Daniel Bryan rolled through into a backslide. Cesaro kicks out. Oh, and a kick to the head of Cesaro. Daniel Bryan covers him. Cesaro kicks out. So we've got 3 people left. 3 eliminations so far. People eliminated are Kevin Owens, King Corbin, Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens. 3 people left. Daniel Bryan, Cesaro, who started the match, and Jey Uso. The winner faces Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship later on tonight. We don't know when. Could be right after this match, to be honest. Daniel Bryan and Cesaro have been in the chamber for over 30 minutes at this point. Daniel Bryan just stamping on the head of Cesaro. So who's it going to be? Who's going to be facing Roman Reigns for that Universal Championship in the main event? Daniel Bryan is doing the yes chant. The virtual WWE audience in the Thunderdome. Daniel Bryan goes for the running knee, but Cesaro goes for the tilt-a-whirl. Daniel Bryan rolls through. Daniel Bryan stacks him up, kicks out. Cesaro goes for a kick to the head, hits it. Kick to the side of the face by Daniel Bryan to Cesaro. Bryan still favouring the knee. Bryan's now going to go to the top rope. Oh, Cesaro hits an uppercut. And once again hits another uppercut to Daniel Bryan. Cesaro is going uppercut crazy tonight at Elimination Chamber. I love it. He's going to go to the top. He's going to get Daniel Bryan. Looks to be on his shoulders. Cesaro's got him. He's got him on the shoulders. This is going to be nasty. Cesaro goes for... What is this? Oh, an avalanche gut buster. That looked nasty. Now Cesaro, I think, is going to step through. Is he going to go for a sharpshooter? Was he going to go for a single leg swing on the injured knee? Love this spot. Oh, in comes Jey Uso. Super kick. Uso's going to go to the top rope. No, don't eliminate him. Don't eliminate Cesaro. Uso splash. No. Covers him. 2, 3. Cesaro's eliminated. Ah, no. I'm not having this. I'm not having this. Cesaro's been eliminated. This is BS. Jey Uso goes for the top rope. Splash on Daniel Bryan. This is going to be it. 1, 2. Daniel Bryan kicks out. So I think it looks like we might get Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan then tonight. This might be the situation. Cesaro was eliminated. I so wish tonight was Cesaro's night. Oh, I don't believe it. I'm devastated. I'm devastated. So the last 2 left are Daniel Bryan and Jey Uso. Man, I really thought it was going to be his night. I really thought it was going to be his night. Man. If you are new to the channel, of course, be sure to subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. Smash a like on the like button. Smash a like on the like button if you're disappointed that Cesaro isn't going to be in the match against Roman Reigns tonight. I really thought that was going to be the case. That is very disappointing. I really did think that was going to happen. Jey Uso went for a splash on Daniel Bryan, but he missed. Daniel Bryan's going to go for the running knee. He hit it. It's going to be it. Daniel Bryan covers him. 2, 3, and Daniel Bryan has won the match. Daniel Bryan has gone coast to coast, and Daniel Bryan is going to be facing Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship tonight at Elimination Chamber. I mean, Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns is great. It's been something they've been teasing and writing about since like December, so it was going to happen eventually. I thought it might happen at Fastlane. It's going to happen tonight. I so wished it would have been Cesaro. I hoped it would have been Cesaro tonight, Daniel Bryan at Fastlane. That would have been great. That's not the case though. Daniel Bryan gets the victory. Kevin Abreu says, why Cesaro need this win? Exactly, Kevin. I totally agree. But Daniel Bryan gets the victory. That's the nice alternative. I don't mind that one. I would have preferred it with Cesaro, but I mean, it could have been so special. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Great chamber match though. Really enjoyed that. That's the great thing about these chamber matches. If they're done properly, you know, they're what? They're like a 45-minute match, so they can be absolutely spectacular. So the chamber is being raised at this point, which concerns me because it makes me think potentially Roman Reigns' music is about to hit, and then it makes me worried that suddenly, you know, it's going to be like, okay, Roman Reigns Universal Championship match, that's going to be next. We're seeing the replays. We're seeing Jey Uso. I mean, Jey Uso, think of the eliminations he got in this match. Jey Uso eliminated Kevin Owens and Cesaro. He goes for the splash off the top of the pod. Daniel Bryan gets the knees up. Then Daniel Bryan hits a great running knee, by the way. Hits an unbelievable running knee for the 3 count. Daniel Bryan gets the victory. Daniel Bryan ain't even on his feet at the moment. He's driving around in pain on the canvas. And as I mentioned, here comes the big dog. Here comes the big dog, and it looks like the Universal Championship match is next, which is a concern. It is next. I said this is what's going to happen. The Universal Championship match is next. Here comes Universal Champion Roman Reigns. You know it's serious when he's got his gold Thanos gauntlet on. And there is his pyro. He's going to be facing Edge at WrestleMania. They're going to compete in a pyro off because Edge and Roman Reigns' pyro is pretty insane. He knew exactly what this is what I said. This is what I said was going to happen. You know, it was going to be the winner of the Elimination Chamber match. I didn't think they were going to do it in the main event. I thought they were going to have straight after Roman Reigns comes out, and that's exactly what's going to happen. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens now. We're going to have Reigns just destroy him quickly, or are we going to have Daniel Bryan show some fight and somehow, you know, he's not going to pull off a victory. I really don't think that's going to be the case. But if I'm Daniel, I'm rolling out the ring right now. Get out of the ring. Because this is going to get nasty quickly. Yeah, this is not going to go well for a certain Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan is he hasn't even got to his feet yet, which isn't good. Reigns is setting up for a spear already. This might not last that long, guys. The referee's asking if Daniel Bryan can do this. He says yes. And he's got it in the yes lock. He's locked in the yes lock. He's locked in the yes lock. There's no way he's going to tap out. There's no way, surely not. Is he going to do it? Is he going to do it? He's locked in the yes lock in the middle of the ring. No. Oh, Roman Reigns manages to fight out. Roman Reigns is now pummeling Daniel Bryan. This doesn't look good. Daniel Bryan can't even protect himself. He's pummeling on Daniel Bryan. Oh, and he's power bombs Daniel Bryan. Reigns looks frenzied. Universal Championship is on the line, just so if you weren't aware, but you can see it on the screen. Now Daniel Bryan he had his moment. He had the yes lock. What was great is you saw Corey Graves and Michael Cole in the background go crazy. Daniel Bryan looks to be just completely out of it at this point. They're piping in "You suck" chants. Oh, he's going to go for the guillotine. Locks in the guillotine. It's going to be over. Locks in the guillotine on Daniel Bryan. That's it. Game over. Daniel Bryan passes out to the guillotine. Roman Reigns retains. What's the point of that? They had the moment. They had the moment. I would have been better with the crowd there, obviously, but yeah, it's heel heat. It's heel heat. Quick work. Roman Reigns retains the Universal Championship after making Daniel Bryan pass out to the guillotine. That's a heel right there. So Roman Reigns, as expected, retains the Universal Championship. He's going to be moving on to WrestleMania, where it's very, 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 very likely he will be challenged by Edge. If I'm WWE, let's get Edge out here now. Hit the music. Come on. Have Edge come out. Spear him. But it was great. Roman Reigns went for a spear. Daniel Bryan had a great reversal into the yes lock. They sold it great, and then Roman Reigns just became a monster, I guess. Just pulled it out, ripped apart Daniel Bryan's grip, and then just pummeled him. I think it's probably leads I would have thought Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan at Fastlane. I would have probably thought as well. And we see Roman Reigns locking in the guillotine for the victory. Yeah, I would think it probably leads to Reigns versus Daniel Bryan at Fastlane. They'll do the whole, oh, well, you could only beat me after I went through the Elimination Chamber. I mean, what victory. If you enjoyed that, smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. If you are new to the channel, we post daily videos and watch-alongs like this. Super chats are also open. You can contribute and support the channel by clicking the $sign. Would be much appreciated. Roman Reigns, man, he gets paid top dollar and does these short matches. Well, there it is. There is Edge. Edge just speared him. And he's pointed to WrestleMania. We know that. It's official. Edge versus Roman Reigns is official for WrestleMania. He is pointing to it. That is it. Edge just speared Roman Reigns. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. The Rated R Superstar just speared Roman Reigns. Hoo-hoo. Edge has chosen Roman Reigns. It's official for WrestleMania. And he's pointing to the WrestleMania sign and there's pyro going off. So that's your main event of WrestleMania. Edge versus Roman Reigns. Edge has made his choice. He will be facing Roman Reigns at WrestleMania for the Universal Championship. Wow. Ashley Robinson says Edge just be a Roman Reigns. But the choice has been made. It is Roman Reigns versus Edge at WrestleMania for the Universal Championship. It is official. As we can see a replay out of nowhere. It's a great spear as well. It's out of nowhere. This Edge just flies in. And points at the sign. Edge selects Roman Reigns. Pyro guy was very happy to press pyro at that point as well. But it's going to be Edge versus Roman Reigns. I'm excited for that one. I really am. That's a main event. That's a main event WrestleMania worthy match. That is great. Well, that was awesome. So, there you go. It's Edge versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. Be sure to smash a like on the like button if you're happy that Edge has selected Roman Reigns. If you're excited for WrestleMania, smash a like on that like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner if you are new to the channel. We post daily videos talking about WWE, AEW, Impact Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling, all things pro wrestling here on the channel. So be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Smash a like on the like button as well, as I mentioned. Super chats are open as well. Click that $sign to support the channel, much appreciated. We're just seeing a promo for the Steve Austin, Sasha Banks, Broken Skull Sessions episode. Kevin A. Bruce says, I hope we don't, WWE don't do Drew McIntyre versus Braun Strowman at WrestleMania 37. I mean, I hope so too. I mean, you're right though, Kevin. That is absolutely a possibility. Absolutely is a possibility. Seeing some adverts right now, so I'm still trying to digest that. So there you go, it's official. Edge versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. Well, there you go. It's official. I mean, it's no surprise. Everyone knew it was going to be the case. I think there's no grand revelation, but it's official. Exciting, very very exciting. But it's going to be WWE Hall of Famer Edge versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. Whew. Wow. Daniel, they're showing Bad Bunny holding the 24/7 championship at Saturday Night Live last night. Dark Scorpion 121 says Braun is not a good champion. He wasn't a good champion. That is very true. You are not wrong there. But we can see Bad Bunny backstage with the 24/7 championship, and there's The Miz. He says he would have preferred if Miz and Morrison were the musical guests for SNL. Is that the 24/7 championship as well? Looks like a really bad replica. Miz asks what Bad Bunny's doing here. Bad Bunny says he's the 24/7 champion. What are you doing here? Oh, Miz has just shoved Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny just slapped the Miz. It was a hell of a slap as well. And he's turned around and there's Damian Priest. So they're sowing the seeds for that WrestleMania showdown as well. But here comes Riddle. So it's going to be the United States Championship next. Here comes Riddle, so it's the United States Championship on the line. So this was the original match. It was going to be Bobby Lashley, Keith Lee, and Riddle, but now it's not. It's actually going to be this instead. Well, it's not. It's going to be actually Bobby Lashley, Riddle, and John Morrison. I don't have a John Morrison picture, so you're going to have to bear with me. But that's the situation right now. So there we go. So much going on. I was just updating the video there. So who do we think is going to win this one? This is certainly going to be interesting. Here comes John Morrison. Of course, it's going to be double duty for John Morrison since he competed earlier on in the show. So here comes John Morrison. I think we could have a new US champion here as well. I really do. That was my prediction going into this one. So remember Keith Lee, if you're not aware, Keith Lee was pulled from this. Keith Lee was pulled from this match. Now he's actually injured. He currently has an injury. So we're seeing the match from the kickoff show earlier on in the evening, which was a fatal four-way match between Ricochet, John Morrison, Mustafa Ali, and Elias. And John Morrison got the victory after rolling up Mustafa Ali to get the win, and that led him to becoming the third entrant in this triple threat match for the United States Championship tonight. But here comes Bobby Lashley. Here comes the United States Champion. I'm still reeling from just everything that's just happened in the last sort of couple of minutes or so. Of course, we know Edge versus Roman Reigns is now happening at WrestleMania. That's official. So Bad Bunny just slapped The Miz. Here comes Bobby Lashley, the United States Champion, with MVP. MVP's on crutches. He legitimately does have a knee injury. He hurt his knee on Raw on Monday, I think. It was actually against Riddle where he hurt his knee. So apparently Bobby Lashley's title reign is the longest US Championship reign in 6 years. So there you go. A fact I didn't know for tonight's show. But I think we could see a situation where it ends tonight, or we just see Bobby Lashley just mow through two people. Wouldn't be surprised to see that either. But certainly a unique triple threat match, one we didn't think we were going to see initially before. Ashley Robinson says, so that means Bianca not going to pick Sasha Banks to face at WrestleMania, though I think they still will. Sasha Banks and Bianca might do women's... Not sure what that says. But the United States Championship is on the line. It was certainly a hot start to the show. This is always the problem, isn't it? Whenever you have something like that start the show, and then you have to go to a triple threat match, and it's sort of like, oh, it's a bit of a come down, isn't it? Bobby Lashley even got pyro now as well. They're certainly taking their time starting the match. There's pyro, graphics, all this kind of stuff. There we go, ring the bell. So Bobby Lashley starting off with Riddle. And a boot to the face of Riddle. Well, God, he's nearly stretching Riddle's head over that ring rope there. John Morrison doesn't want to get involved. He's more than happy just to wait this one out. Now John Morrison's going after Riddle. It's interesting because, how often have we seen John Morrison and Bobby Lashley tie up? In Impact, maybe. Oof. Lashley just spears John Morrison in the corner. That was nasty. Now, Riddle's on the back of Bobby Lashley here. He was just thrown off by Bobby Lashley. Now, Lashley just clotheslined. Well, now Morrison with a kick to the head of Bobby Lashley. Going to try and go for another kick to Lashley. Does. Throws John Morrison over the top, but Lashley blocks a kick and then a reverse elbow. Hits the ropes and just smashes John Morrison off the apron into the barricade. Man. He's just an animal. Bobby Lashley is just a pure animal. Now Lashley's going after... You see him go smash straight into John Morrison. Going for it again. Lashley's got Morrison on his shoulders here. He's got him up for like a bit of a torture rack, it looks like. Oh, and just throws John Morrison into the ring post. Just turned him inside out. I think MVP was maybe swore, used a curse with it because they bleeped it. Well, Riddle just went to go and attack Lashley. Lashley just picked up, threw over his shoulder. Riddle looked shocked. Oh. Brutal. And again, Riddle, when Lashley catches him, he just throws him over it like a sack of nothing. It's crazy. Bobby Lashley just destroying people at this point. Just absolutely destroying people. Lashley just absolutely... Oh, a neck breaker. This thing is, this is what we've seen over and over again recently. We've seen Lashley just destroy Riddle. I still think we could see a title change though. Lashley goes for a suplex, but John Morrison springboard actually helps Riddle there. At least it looks like they're going to be having a bit of a temporary alliance here. John Morrison and Riddle. Oh. Well, Lashley just absolutely takes out John Morrison. Shoulder block, spins him around in midair. I mean, this booking of Lashley's brilliant, by the way. This is like Brock Lesnar booking of him just destroying people. He's being booked like an absolute savage, an absolute... He's getting the Brock Lesnar booking. That's exactly what he's getting right now. He's getting the Brock Lesnar booking. So Lashley's just waiting in the ring, and Riddle and John Morrison are putting together a bit of a strategy to try and go after Bobby Lashley, it looks like. So now Riddle and John Morrison are going after Lashley in the corner. Riddle hits a forearm. John Morrison's going for... He charges at Lashley and... Lashley, one-arm slam. Lashley's going to go for a dominator, it looks like. Oh. Lashley's just... His booking here is incredible. Lashley looks like he's setting up for a spear now. Spear into the corner to Riddle. It's a fist bump with MVP. MVP's telling him to punish him. Oh, Lashley just got taken out of the ring by Riddle. What a kick to the shoulder. And Morrison, oh my god, he just dived out of the ring. That was incredible. Riddle's going to go for something now. Springboard floating bro or a broton. So Lashley's down and then Morrison's straight after Riddle. Morrison now he's going to go straight after Riddle. Covers him. This might be it. Kicks out too. Obviously, John Morrison's never been United States champion before. Matt Riddle was a couple of shots to the ribs and some stiff forearms to John Morrison there. Morrison kick to the gut. Morrison gets him up on the shoulders. Well, Matt Riddle's holding on. So Riddle, is he transitioning into... Oh, he rolled through into something. Didn't know if it worked. Goes for a kick. I don't think they tried something. It didn't work there. Whatever they tried, it didn't work. Oh, beautiful. John Morrison goes for a German suplex. Riddle lands on his feet. Riddle goes through. And a Pele kick to John Morrison. Morrison's now in the corner. And Riddle... hits the ropes now, going for a forearm. Beautiful exploder suplex. Bit of a T-bone, actually, it looked like. Goes for a kick. Goes for a moonsault. John Morrison keeps musing there, and a Broton. Once again, Riddle kick to the chest. Riddle, beautiful. Deadlift German suplex. Oof. John Morrison kicks out. Lashley's back in, which probably means it's game over. Oh, ducks under, Riddle. Gonna go for a ripcord knee. Hits it. Riddle's gonna go up again to the top rope. Gonna go for a floating bro again. Oof, floating bro. It wasn't a good one. Didn't get all of it. Oh, John Morrison. Hits a knee to the face. John Morrison, here we go. He's gonna go for a Starship Pain. Starship Pain. Hits it on Bobby Lashley. Is John Morrison going to win? John Morrison kicks out. Oh, I thought John Morrison was going to win. For a second, that would be crazy. Lashley just kicks out like it was nothing, though, because this is good Bobby Lashley booking. MVP's talking trash. John Morrison's telling MVP to shut up. John Morrison and MVP, they're talking trash to each other. John Morrison takes the crutch from MVP. John Morrison, he's got a crutch in the ring. Oh, and it's been transitioned into the Hurt Lock. The Hurt Lock is locked in on John Morrison. I don't know what that was, but anyway, Riddle's got a crutch now. Riddle's got the crutch. Riddle hits the crutch on the back of Bobby Lashley. It broke across the back. Here we go. Riddle is going after John Morrison. What's he go for? Bro, Derek, it's going to be it. It's going to be it. 2, 3. Riddle is the United States champion. I said it was going to happen. Riddle is the new United States champion. Riddle pins John Morrison. This is why we had the triple threat. I mentioned this before. They needed the third man. With no Keith Lee, what were they going to do? They needed to have the third man because they didn't want to pin Bobby Lashley. They didn't have Bobby Lashley tap out, and they needed the third man. The third man was John Morrison. But I'm not sure why they had to have John Morrison take the pin. Why it couldn't be someone like Ricochet or whatever. But regardless, Riddle is the new United States champion. Wow. So Riddle, that's what, his second championship, including the NXT. So he's an NXT Tag Team Champion, and now he's the United States Champion. Riddle wins the US Championship. Wow. Like I said, I felt that might be the case. As soon as I heard the news about Keith Lee and that they were still going with the triple threat match because they needed it to be a triple threat match, the first thing I thought is it's a title change. Why? Because they need the third man. They need the third man, and that was the case here. So Riddle is the US Championship. In fairness, though, to WWE again, don't have a problem with this if this means that Lashley's going on to other stuff. Because to be honest, the way they booked Lashley in this match, I thought was great. I thought the way they booked Lashley was fantastic. They booked him like an absolute monster. It was great. It was great. If you're happy that Riddle is US Champion, smash a like on the like button. Todd says, nice. Simply Friendly says, I was gone. What happened? Wow, Riddle is the new WWE United States Champion. Riddle pinned John Morrison to get the victory after he attacked Bobby Lashley with a crutch. Todd says now Bobby can go after Drew, or maybe Bobby Lashley could go after Brock Lesnar if Brock Lesnar returned. Now that would be fun. Dark Scorpion 121 says he is the Bro Champion. Yeah, we got a new United States Champion, that being the original Bro himself, Riddle. So his first championship in WWE, not including his NXT Tag Team Championship with Pete Dunne, as we're now seeing a advert for WrestleMania. I'm assuming we're going to get the so many days away classic WrestleMania promo, which is always exciting to see. So we've what a significant night so far. So we had Daniel Bryan win the first Elimination Chamber match of the evening. He then faced Roman Reigns immediately. Roman Reigns retained the Universal Championship, but after that Universal Championship match, what happened? Edge came out, speared Roman Reigns, and informed everyone that Edge was going to be facing Roman Reigns at WrestleMania for the Universal Championship. Edge has made his decision. He's going to be facing Roman Reigns. So WrestleMania, 48 days away. and exclusively on Peacock in the United States. Of course, around the world, it's on the WWE Network and on pay-per-view. But of course, yeah, this is the last pay-per-view that isn't exclusive on Peacock. Of course, the first exclusive pay-per-view event on Peacock will be Fastlane. Ashley Robinson says Matt Riddle win the US title. Absolutely. Coming up next, though, looks to be the Women's Tag Team Championships. So the Women's Tag Team titles are on the line next. So who is going to be leaving the Women's Tag Team Championships? With the championship champions, rather. Because here comes Shayna Baszler, who of course will be followed by Nia Jax. Does this mean, though, we are going to get a million of these Nia Jax, my whole stuff? Because they've already done it to death. This is what they do. They run these things into the ground, don't they? That's what they do with this kind of stuff. Something's funny, we're going to make it so much that it's unfunny, because we're going to do it over and over and over and over again. So get ready for my whole, all this kind of stuff. So Nia Jax is doing her entrance, but they're announcing that Edge will be facing Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. Oh, is that it? It's Edge. So Nia Jax is making her entrance, and then they suddenly just go that Edge is going to be facing Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. Who's calling this match then? Because they said it was the Raw commentary team, and now suddenly it's the SmackDown commentary team. They're showing the 6-person tag team match from SmackDown, where you had Reginald, Bianca Belair, and Sasha Banks against Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, and Bayley. Reginald, to be honest, Reginald I thought was great in the match. Reginald pinned Nia Jax. Reginald, though, is an unbelievable athlete. Really amazing athlete. He was in Cirque du Soleil. He's incredible. The question is, does he get involved in this one? Is he going to come out with Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair? I hope not. This should be more about... This should be about Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. It shouldn't be about Reginald or anything like that, you know. Nothing silly like that. In my opinion, anyway. So Kayla Braxton is going to be interviewing Bianca Belair, the EST of WWE, of course. And the SmackDown Women's Champion, Sasha Banks, her tag team partner. Now, Bianca Belair, of course, still hasn't selected who she's going to be facing at WrestleMania. And it's going to be Sasha Banks. She's facing Sasha Banks at WrestleMania. She hasn't been announced yet, but that is what's going to happen. If you are new to the channel, of course, be sure to subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner, smash a like on the like button. If you're enjoying Elimination Chamber, there is Reginald. He has a very high-pitched voice, doesn't he, Reginald? Is he still wearing is that a Carmella shirt? Reginald saying that the EST and someone as beautiful as Sasha Banks should be draped in as much gold as possible. But again, I'm not sure. You know, the Reginald stuff's fun and all that kind of stuff, but this should be about Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks, shouldn't it? Really. But we've already got one decision tonight, haven't we? We know that Edge has chosen Roman Reigns to face at WrestleMania for the Universal Championship. Maybe Bianca Belair will inform everyone that she's going to be facing Sasha Banks tonight. Maybe that's what's going to happen. Now, initially, I've gone through about 3 different versions of what I've predicted for this match, but I think... Initially, I said Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks are going to win. I think I've moved now that I think it's going to be Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, because they're scheduled for on NXT on Wednesday for the Women's Tag Team Championships, aren't they? So I think that might be what actually happens. To be honest, they'd be a great tag team. Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair would be a great tag team. And if she wins the tag team championships, think how many things she's won this year, rather, you know. The past 12 months, she'd won the Raw Women's Championship, the SmackDown Women's Championship, the Women's Tag Team Championships twice. That'd be incredible, wouldn't it? Quinton Guff Miller says, how long is left? Well, I would have thought since we started about midnight over here in the UK, so 7 p.m. Eastern Time, I would think it's probably about an hour and a half, maybe. About 90 minutes is probably left. How many matches have we got left? Well, we can do the match listing because we had John Morrison defeated Elias Mustafa Ali and Ricochet in a fatal four-way match on the pre-show. Daniel Bryan won the Elimination Chamber match, the first Elimination Chamber match of the evening, defeating Jey Uso, Kevin Owens, King Corbin, Sami Zayn, and Cesaro. But then that was followed by a Universal Championship match between Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan, which Roman Reigns won by submission after locking in the guillotine. Riddle then defeated Bobby Lashley and John Morrison to capture the United States Championship. So actually, again, I say an hour and a half left. I mean, say this match goes 15 minutes. Is the final match of the evening going to go an hour 15? No, maybe like an hour then. Maybe about an hour. I think maybe we've got about an hour left because we've got the Tag Team Championship match, which has just started now. But then we've got the Elimination Chamber match for the WWE Championship, and that's it. So I would actually, I'll go back, Quinton. I will say probably about an hour. We probably have about an hour left. So Nia Jax and Bianca Belair are in the ring. I think Bianca Belair just kicked or maybe slapped Nia Jax's behind. We don't need any more of that old my whole stuff, do we? No, I mean we really don't. We really don't. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Bottom right hand corner, smash a like on the like button too. Super chats are open as well. If you want to contribute and support the channel, you can click the $sign. It's much appreciated. Sasha Banks is pressed by Nia Jax. No, Nia Jax throws her and Bianca Belair catches her. It's incredible. And then uses Sasha Banks as a weapon. Then stereo double drop kick to Nia Jax. In comes Shayna Baszler. Oh, wow. Bianca Belair just hit a fresh drop kick on Shayna Baszler right to the face. That was nasty. Goes for a handspring moonsault. Oh, Shayna Baszler rolls through. He's going to go for a cross arm breaker, it looks like. Stacks her up instead. Bianca Belair, beautiful shoulder block. Shoulder tackle to Shayna Baszler. Tags in Sasha Banks. Sasha hits a Meteora onto Shayna Baszler. Baszler kicks out. As JR would say, not a proper cover. And Sasha Banks is now going for... Oh... Looks like she was going to go for an Escalera kind of arm drag. She gets hung up on the top right by Shayna Baszler, and Nia Jax just runs over Sasha Banks. Man, that was nasty. And Nia Jax now sending Sasha Banks back into the ring. And now it looks like Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax have regained control here. Shayna Baszler's gears looks unbelievable, by the way. Awesome gear. She's got this like black and white Queen of Spades stuff. It's awesome. With a bit of a play off Sons of Anarchy, it kind of looks like. It looks like she's kind of got a Sons of Anarchy logo on the back, it looks like, which is cool. Shayna Baszler now doing a bit of joint manipulation. She's moving the wrist and the shoulder and the elbow. Oh man, that looks nasty. Just it makes you cringe, doesn't it? It makes you cringe. Now Shayna Baszler, stamps on the elbow of Sasha Banks. It just looks such a brutal spot. Such a brutal spot. Always looks so horrible. Bianca Belair's smiling though. Which is interesting. You would think that, she wants to win the match, but I suppose she's already picked her. Even though not officially yet. Baszler. Covered Banks got a 2 count. So obviously we have this match and then we have the Elimination Chamber match for the WWE Championship. So only a couple matches left on tonight's show. And Shayna Baszler is working over the arm and shoulder of Sasha Banks at this point. Shayna Baszler is such a great wrestler. I really don't get how people say, oh, they don't like her. I just don't get it. I don't see why people... I know people will say, oh, she's boring because she does technical wrestling. That's what wrestling is. You know. Baszler hits a vicious clothesline on Banks, gets a 2 count. Remember, this match is for the Women's Tag Team Championships. Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks has been rumoured for WrestleMania. Nothing been made official about that. We do have one WrestleMania main event that is official, though. Edge has officially selected Roman Reigns to face for the Universal Championship at WrestleMania. Of course, WrestleMania is in April. We will be doing a watch-along and preview videos and everything under the sun for WrestleMania. So be sure to subscribe bottom right-hand corner. You won't miss any of that. And it's always exciting, WrestleMania season, isn't it? WrestleMania season is just always very, very exciting. Always the best time of the year. I think everyone will say it's their favourite time of the year. But it is, you know, it's always great, isn't it? Everyone loves WrestleMania. Shayna Baszler tags herself in. Sasha Banks trying to get... Oh, actually, Sasha Banks rolls through, though, and actually hits Shayna Baszler. Hits Bianca Belair, sorry. Banks goes for a crossbody. It's close. It was very close. Couple of near falls. Oh, couple of near falls for Banks on Shayna Baszler. Bianca Belair gets a blind tag now she's in. And Belair's still going. Oh, Belair's going to go for a bit of a glam slam, kind of it looks like. Shayna Baszler rolls through. Oh, Kirifuda clutch is locked in. Kirifuda clutch is locked in. I think Sasha Banks somehow made a tag. Shayna Baszler goes to make a tag, but Bianca Belair goes once again for the glam slam. Banks frog splash. Is this going to be it? Baszler kicks out. Whew. For a second there, I was like, hey. But no. Belair and Banks thought that they had it there. Banks, oh, what a kick to the face of Shayna Baszler. Bianca Belair's going to go for the KOD. Well, hits it, KOD. Not very wow, but she hit it. Bianca Belair. But she gets pulled out of the ring by Nia Jax. Very sort of strange. This match has been a bit slow so far. Nia Jax has tagged herself in. Now Nia Jax is the legal competitor. In comes Nia Jax. Kick to the gut. And Belair's fighting back on Nia Jax. Here we go. No way. She's going to try and get Bianca. She's going to get Nia Jax up on her shoulders. No way she could do it. No way. She can't do it. I was going to say that would be incredible. Off the rope. And oof. Nia Jax hits like a choke slam style sort of flapjack situation. That looked nasty. Now Baszler's back in the ring. Banks sends Baszler to the apron or a knee to the face. Shayna Baszler's now on the floor. Nia Jax is now going after Bianca Belair. Sasha Banks manages to tag herself in, hits this. Nia Jax hits a Samoan drop on Bianca Belair. But Sasha Banks goes for a meteor crying and gets it on Nia Jax. Jax kicks out. That match has been a bit sloppy so far. It's been a bit sloppy. I will have to admit that. It's been slightly sloppy, I will say. Well, here comes Reginald. Reginald's come down to the ring. He's a sommelier of Carmella. He's got some champagne and a glass, it looks like. And Banks is now going for the bank statement. She's got the bank statement on Nia Jax. Is this going to be it? Nia Jax she manages to get to the ropes. Reginald is still standing at ringside with champagne and some champagne glasses. He's now given Sasha the bottle. He's given Sasha the bottle to use as a weapon. The referee's grabbed it and said, "What are you doing?" Nia Jax is going to take advantage and a Samoan drop. This might be it. 1, 2, 3. And there you go. Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair lose. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler retain the Women's Tag Team Championships after Nia Jax pinned Sasha Banks. Short match. I thought it was okay. Sloppy in parts, I think. I don't. What is going on with this weird storyline? You know, we should be focusing on Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair heading into WrestleMania season. We should be focusing on Reginald and Sasha Banks. It just seems a really odd detour. You know, not to say that it's not interesting or anything like that, but you know, this is your big women's match. You know, Bianca Belair won the Royal Rumble. This is meant to be your big women's match for WrestleMania. Why are we involving Reginald? I don't get it. I really don't get it. Quinton says, "Why won't my chat load in?" I can see your chat. I don't know if that's the case of other people. So there you go. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler retain the Women's Tag Team Championships. If you're enjoying this stream, smash a like on the like button. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. We post daily videos talking about WWE, AEW, Impact Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling, so be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Click the notification bell, you'll be notified when we post new daily videos and we go live for watch-alongs like this. Super chats are also open. You can click the $sign and contribute to the channel if you wish. It would be much appreciated. We're just seeing an advert for Fastlane now on the screen. Dark Scorpion 121 says it's a love storyline with him and Sasha Banks. Wow. I don't know if she reciprocates, but but that's fine. But I mean, it's WrestleMania season. The storyline here is Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. Why are we involving Reginald? I don't. It's very, very strange. Very strange. So the next pay-per-view, of course, will be Fastlane on Sunday, March 21st. It's going to be available on WWE Network and Peacock, and it's going to be the final pay-per-view, of course, before WrestleMania, 4 weeks from tonight. And backstage, MVP is talking to The Miz for some reason, which is interesting. Why is MVP talking to The Miz? We're going to see a cash-in? What was that? That was certainly curious, was it? My interest is piqued. That is very interesting. That is very interesting. Why is MVP talking to The Miz? I think they're teasing a cash-in. Does The Miz... Does MVP manage The Miz? What is going on there? But it's the second Elimination Chamber match of the evening. It's the Elimination Chamber match for a championship. The WWE Championship. WWE Champion Drew McIntyre is defending against AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton, Sheamus, and Kofi Kingston. So who is going to leave as WWE Champion? This is certainly going to be curious. This is the one, as I mentioned, I mentioned when we first came on the air, when we first started streaming earlier tonight. This was the one for me that nothing's off the table here. Anything can happen for this chamber match. Anyone can leave champion. I know it's obviously most likely Drew McIntyre, but you cannot rule this one out. You cannot rule this one out. Anything is possible for this WWE Championship. Not obviously the way they've been booking Drew McIntyre. I mean, they had him beat Goldberg at the Royal Rumble. They've had him overcome numerous odds and circumstances. So, you know, if you build someone up, having them retain inside the Elimination Chamber is a big deal, isn't it? But sometimes, and they've done this several times in the past, WWE, they've had champions going into the Elimination Chamber lose it, and then they win it back at Elimination Chamber. So this one is certainly interesting. Anything is possible. Without, Dark Scorpion says, I don't think AJ or Hardy will win. Well, I think I would agree it's probably unlikely a Jeff Hardy or a Kofi Kingston or, those would win it. But Drew McIntyre retaining, absolutely big possibility. Sheamus even winning, possibility. Depending on where they want to go with the Randy Orton Bray Wyatt feud, Randy Orton winning it isn't out of the realm of possibility. I don't think it will happen, but said anything's possible. This one is very open, and I don't think at this point as well, I really don't think at this point they've decided what the WWE Championship match is going to be at WrestleMania at this point. So the fact that they haven't decided that says to me that that it's a possibility we could see it again. We could see something really, really strange here. So considering these chamber matches last about 30 to 40 minutes, we're probably looking at finishing around sort of 2:20 a.m. over here, which in the United States is like 9:20, something like that, 9:20 p.m. Which again, there's nothing wrong with that for a pay-per-view. If anything, I think that's great. I that's what I want in terms of a pay-per-view. I don't want a pay-per-view that lasts 4 hours, 5 hours, or something ridiculous. I'm more than happy to have a pay-per-view that lasts about 2.5 hours. Thumbs up for me. Remember, of course, The Miz was scheduled. The Miz was scheduled to be in this Money in the Bank. The Miz was scheduled to be in this Elimination Chamber match, but he pulled himself out and said that he was going to bide his opportunity, bide his time. So who is going to leave as the WWE Champion? Who is going to exit the Elimination Chamber as the WWE Champion? I must say the opening Elimination Chamber match tonight I thought was great. I really do think it was great. So be interesting to see what happens with this one. It's good to see the WWE Championship actually main event in the show as well. WWE Championship hasn't had the best of luck as Drew McIntyre being champion. Only on a very select few occasions has Drew McIntyre actually been the main event. A lot of the time he's been the opener or something like that. So good for Drew McIntyre being in the main event as the WWE Champion. But is he in the main event because he's going to drop the WWE Championship? That is the big question here. Put in the chat who you think is going to win this match. We'll read out your predictions. You can also contribute to the channel with a super chat. Hit the $sign. All contributions and donations are welcome. It's a great way to support the channel. Another great way is to subscribe. Of course, if you're new, bottom right hand corner, smash a like on the like button too. So here we go. It's the main event. About an hour and 45 into the show, and we're already at the main event, which is what I love. I love pro wrestling, and I could watch it all day, but I don't know about you. I have no real interest in watching 5-6 hour pay-per-views like you get for WrestleMania. It's just too long, way too long. And so Drew McIntyre's out first, which means, of course, he's not going to be starting the match. It means he's going to be in a pod. So we're not going to get a Daniel Bryan and Cesaro situation where they're going to go coast to coast or anything like that. We don't have a John Cena scenario at New Year's Revolution 2006, when, of course, he had to go coast to coast to retain the title and then lost it to Edge, who cashed in at the time. What a memorable event that was. So Drew McIntyre is now in the pod. Next out is AJ Styles. So AJ Styles, of course, will not be starting the match either. He will be in a pod. I wonder what's going to happen with the giant Amas. Is he going to be standing at ringside? I would have thought so. There he is. I mean, he is a giant man. What is interesting, by the way, which I think is worth mentioning here because WWE has not mentioned it, is of course we were meant to have a Raw Women's Championship match tonight. And instead of doing an angle on the air where they cancelled it or all this kind of stuff, they just haven't mentioned it. And just hope we forgot. And you know what? I nearly did. But I just remembered it now. So there you go. That's what happened with the Raw Women's Championship. They just stopped talking about it. So AJ Styles has officially entered the chamber. I wonder if they'll do a spot in this match that has Amas get involved somehow. Whether it's, you know, smashing the pod, plexiglass or something like that. I think they could do something like that if they wanted to. I think so. Drew McIntyre goes to try and smash the thing. So who's going to be next? Kofi Kingston. So Kofi Kingston's back in the WWE Championship picture. You love to see it. You love to see it. I said before, what? There's no reason why Kofi Kingston shouldn't be once again back in main events. He should be. You know, they spent like 6 months building this guy up as WWE Champion. Why just suddenly go back to not doing anything with him? It doesn't make any sense not to do that. Who's going to be next? Oh, it's Sheamus. Of course, he is the final entrant. We knew this because he won the gauntlet match on Monday Night Raw this week. So Sheamus is in a pod. Of course, Kofi Kingston actually, which is interesting. Kofi Kingston looked behind him as he entered the Elimination Chamber. Now, why did he do that? Well, of course, he did that because at No Way Out in 2009, he was about to enter the Elimination Chamber match, and Edge, who of course is in the building tonight, Edge actually attacked him and took his place and won the World Heavyweight Championship because of that. So Sheamus is now entered the match, and he's facing face to face with Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre headbutted his pod. Again, everyone's channeling Goldberg tonight. So who does that mean is starting the match? That means we've got Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton starting off this match, which is certainly going to be interesting. Because again, I don't see Jeff Hardy going the distance. Of course, we could have a situation again when the Fiend returns. Now, I mentioned this before. It's absolutely a possibility we could see a situation where the Fiend returns. But as I mentioned before, I wouldn't be shocked if we don't see the Fiend until WrestleMania. I think that's a possibility as well. So here comes Jeff Hardy. We know that Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton are going to be starting off this Elimination Chamber match. You know, I'm excited about WrestleMania as well. Of course, Jeff Hardy has said that his No More Words entrance theme is returning once there are fans in attendance. And of course, there are going to be fans in attendance at WrestleMania. So hopefully No More Words are going to be returning at WrestleMania. So Jeff Hardy enters the chamber. And Randy Orton will be next. And here comes Randy Orton. Randy Orton making his way to the ring. So, of course, Randy Orton as well. You have to, again, we have to, you can't not acknowledge the Fiend situation that is following him. So, what is the Fiend appearance tonight? What is the next step in that storyline? Is it the Fiend returning? Is it Bray Wyatt returning? Is it Alexa Bliss doing another Alexa Bliss weird thing? What is going on with that? So that's going to be addressed in this one. There's no doubt about that. We just have to find out what it is going to be, I suppose. But, I mean, in fairness to WWE, they've committed. They've absolutely committed to the storyline. I mean, the Fiend Randy Orton thing happened in December, sort of later December, didn't it? Just before Christmas. And we're nearly at the end of February. We've still seen no Fiend. They're holding off. They're doing their due diligence in holding off. Kofi Kingston shouting at Randy Orton that his quads look thick. Randy Orton also staring down Drew McIntyre. Randy Orton was doing stare downs, and AJ Styles starts saying, "Scary guy coming this way," and Randy Orton just tells him to go away. Sheamus says that Randy Orton's all talk, says, "What are you going to do about it?" I still think it's funny that Kofi Kingston was just telling Randy Orton that his quads look thick. That's really what Kofi just, he really wanted to let Orton know, your quads look thick. Just so you know, Randy. Your quads look thick, Randy. Your quads look thick. If you're excited for this main event, smash a like on the like button. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. So who is going to leave as the WWE Champion? Now, The Miz was talking to MVP prior to the match. Remember, The Miz was going to be in this match. And remember, WrestleVotes earlier on today posted the tweet with the eyes emoji. So something big could be about to happen. But Randy Orton is now with Jeff Hardy. Throws him to the outside. Hits an uppercut. Oh, and throws Jeff Hardy into Drew McIntyre's pod. AJ Styles is saying hello to Randy Orton. Jeff Hardy teeing off on Randy Orton. Here we go. Jeff Hardy is just going crazy on Randy Orton. AJ Styles is really chanting for him to go at him. Oh, and a thumb to the eye. Oh, a thumb to the eye by Randy Orton to Jeff Hardy. That was nasty. And Randy Orton's trying to eliminate Jeff Hardy here. Randy Orton being as methodical as he always is. I must say, Jeff Hardy, I mean, I know we always say this, but Jeff Hardy's face paint is awesome. It looks so good, doesn't it? It really does. Randy Orton locking in a headlock on Jeff Hardy. The prototypical grab a hold. I suppose that's the thing, with sometimes with the modern crowds, they weren't allowed to do that anymore, which is crazy to think about it, but some won't anymore. And doesn't mind it. Jeff locks in the hold. Hardy fights out. Goes to splash, but Orton moves out the way. This is the right thing to start the match off slow. I know some people would want to start the match off really quick, really hot, but these matches, by definition, by the elimination concept, by people coming in and going out, all that kind of stuff, they build to a natural crescendo anyway. Now Orton goes through a cover. Jeff Hardy kicks out. Randy Orton's got Jeff Hardy by the hair. I remember the Randy Orton Jeff Hardy feud. When was that? 2018, when you had the Hell in a Cell match, the screwdriver through the ear, all that kind of stuff. Jeff Hardy hanging from the top of Hell in a Cell and then falling on Randy Orton. All that stuff. I mean, the screwdriver through the ear stuff was just it was crazy. What an atomic drop. Jeff Hardy, heels to the abdomen and a drop kick to the face and a splash by Jeff Hardy. Goes for a cover. Randy Orton kicks out at 2. So I wonder who is going to come in next. I think the opening portion with the two competitors is 5 minutes, I believe. Jeff Hardy goes for a splash from the second rope, and Orton kicks out. And the next person's about to come in. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Jeff Hardy goes for a twist of fate. Randy Orton went for an RKO, but they're brawling to the outside. Who's the first person entering the match going to be? Wow, it's the WWE Champion Drew McIntyre. In comes McIntyre. Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre are brawling. And McIntyre, I mean, he's going to, if he goes all the way, he's going to essentially go coast to coast. Didn't start the match, but he's the next person in. He's the first person in. Clothesline. A couple of clotheslines by McIntyre to Orton. Jeff Hardy. Belly to belly throw by Drew McIntyre to Hardy. Stacks Hardy and McIntyre in the corner. Just did a belly to belly to Jeff Hardy. Threw him halfway across the ring. Randy Orton goes for a clothesline. McIntyre ducks, hits a neck breaker and a kip up. Kofi Kingston looks pretty pleased with Drew McIntyre's work. He's pointing at him, giving him a thumbs up. McIntyre throws Orton to the outside. And McIntyre shoving Randy Orton into the steel chain link fence. And Randy Orton's face is being pressed into the chain by Drew McIntyre. Brutal by Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton as well there. Now McIntyre's going to go after Jeff Hardy instead. Throws Jeff Hardy over the top rope to the mats on the outside of the structure. McIntyre going for a suplex on Jeff Hardy on the outside. I mean, even though there are mats there, I mean, it still looks painful. Not as bad as it would have been, of course, back in the day with the steel, but nevertheless, it still looks painful. McIntyre telling the cameraman to move. Oof. Drew McIntyre told the cameraman to move. He didn't. He threw Jeff Hardy into the pod and then he says, I told you to move. But meanwhile, inside the ring, McIntyre draping DDT by Randy Orton to Drew McIntyre. He's going to go for a cover. And McIntyre kicks out on 1. But Randy Orton looks to now be in control once again. So we have 3 people in the match. We have Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, and Jeff Hardy. No elimination so far. Of course, this is an Elimination Chamber match for the WWE Championship. It is the main event of the Elimination Chamber event. The same event which we found out that Edge will challenge Roman Reigns at WrestleMania for the WWE Universal Championship. And Randy Orton just squished Jeff Hardy's face up against a pod. Oh, Randy Orton gets some right hands from Drew McIntyre. Oh, and a backbreaker. Backbreaker by Orton. Hooks the leg on McIntyre. McIntyre kicks out. The countdown once again has begun. Who's going to be the next man to enter the match? Randy Orton's going to go for a draping DDT on McIntyre. I think he hit it on McIntyre. Terrible camera work once again, so we didn't see it. Who's going to be next to enter is going to be Kofi Kingston. In comes Kingston and McIntyre is on the outside. Kingston and Orton facing off once again. A lot of history. A lot of history here. Stupid, stupid, stupid. It's Kofi Kingston versus Randy Orton once again. Obviously, they had a feud for the WWE Championship in 2019. Ended up at SummerSlam, didn't it? Oh, Kingston. Whoa, Kingston just eliminated Randy Orton. Wow. Wow. Oh, and Randy Orton just RKO'd Kofi Kingston. And that's it again. A Randy Orton RKO and Jeff Hardy. I can't believe this. Randy Orton just got eliminated by Kofi Kingston. Wow, wow, wow. Wait a minute. Amos is just ripping out the pod. Amos has just ripped the plexiglass off the pod. And AJ Styles has been released from his pod. AJ Styles, he's gone. What's going on? AJ Styles is trying to run away. Randy Orton is leaving because he's been eliminated by Kofi Kingston. When AJ's now getting in the ring. AJ Styles is... What is going on? AJ Styles has just entered himself into the match. He's tried to eliminate Kingston. Kingston kicked out. Jeff Hardy kicked out. But AJ Styles is in the match now, I guess. Adam Pearce has just told Amos that he has to leave. So AJ Styles isn't happy. Adam Pearce is telling Amos he's got to leave. AJ Styles is now in the match. Amos, to be fair, like the way they book him, he just looks like a total badass, doesn't he? I mean, he's a giant of a man. So, I mean, I have no idea if the guy can work or not. I've heard some things that he's maybe not the best worker, but he is 7'3". But just as a bodyguard, he works the job so well, doesn't he? He really does. Whoa, AJ Styles just got tornado DDT'd by Kofi Kingston on the outside. So we have 4 people in the match, 1 person being eliminated, that being Randy Orton. The 4 people in the match are the WWE Champion Drew McIntyre, Jeff Hardy, AJ Styles and Kofi Kingston. We've got 1 more person that's due to enter the match. That is, of course, Sheamus. We know that Sheamus was going to be the last to enter anyway, so maybe this match got even short. Oh, gosh, Drew McIntyre just threw Jeff Hardy into the top of the pod. That looked rough. Kingston hits the SOS onto Drew McIntyre. McIntyre kicks out at 2. This match is certainly much more frenetic than the opening chamber match was. The opening chamber match was very much methodical and a building story, so piece by piece, whereas this one's very frenetic, very, very quick, very out of nowhere. You know, AJ Styles entering him in the match, Randy Orton being eliminated suddenly. But no progression of the Randy Orton Fiend storyline, which I thought we would see. So, not the case. I suppose it's not, it's not necessary. I suppose, But once again, it goes to say my thing that I think we're gonna get Randy Orton versus the Fiend at WrestleMania. But I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if we didn't see the Fiend until WrestleMania. I wouldn't be shocked. I really wouldn't. AJ Styles is now with Kofi Kingston. Gonna go for a brain buster by AJ Styles to Kofi Kingston. This might be it. Kingston kicks out. Remember, Kingston only had a broken jaw a couple of weeks ago. They're showing a replay of when Amash just ripped the plexiglass off the pod. They're trying to hype it up like this is an incredible feat of strength, but you can tell it's just sort of slotted in and pulled out. I mean, I don't think it's physical strength. I would have been far more impressive if Amash had just punched through it and it had shattered or something. I think that would have been far more impressive. So AJ Styles is now with Kofi Kingston. Oh, forearm. Forearm by Kingston. He's going to go for a monkey flip. Oh, monkey flipped AJ Styles into the Elimination Chamber wall. Man, that was nasty. Kingston is now in the middle of the ring with Drew McIntyre. Of course, remember, we've only got one elimination so far, that being Randy Orton. Quick night for Randy. Well, Kingston rolls through. What's he going to go for? Kingston's going to go for a guillotine. I'm surprised he's allowed to go for a guillotine. That's Roman Reigns' move. McIntyre hits a suplex, so reverses it. And Sheamus has just got his back to the ring. He is getting himself into the zone, it looks like, in his pod. He's getting focused and focused and focused. Went to eliminate Kingston. McIntyre did. Only got a 2 count, though. Now McIntyre and Kingston now on the outside of the ring. McIntyre's trying to set up for a suplex. Oh, just suplex Kingston into the side of the Elimination Chamber and then landed flat on the floor. That looked nasty. Oof. McIntyre now is going after AJ Styles. Pushes Styles off the ropes, whips him once again. It's going to go for a big back body drop. Oof. AJ Styles, when he does those back body drops, he goes like a ridiculous height in the air. It's crazy. Goes like 10 feet in the air. It's madness. And they'll do the super slow motion. So again, we have 4 people currently in the match. Sheamus is going to coming next. 1 elimination so far, that being Randy Orton. It's an Elimination Chamber match for the WWE Championship. Drew McIntyre looks to be in control. Excuse me. It is nearly 2 a.m. over. It is over 2 a.m. Yeah. And Drew McIntyre hits a net breaker on Jeff Hardy. Hardy kicks out at 2 though. And the countdown is on. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And here comes Sheamus. And McIntyre is waiting for him. Sheamus and McIntyre are about to face off. 20-year friendship, and Sheamus and McIntyre are now facing off in the middle of the ring. Oh, and a big right hand by Drew McIntyre. I mean, these are stiff right hands. And a million camera cuts right now. Oh, I wish that they don't need to do all these camera cuts. It's so annoying when they do it. They just take the moment. They ruin the moment for me when they do stuff like that. Literally 500 camera cuts. So, Sheamus and McIntyre still brawling everywhere. McIntyre just putting in these knees now, Sheamus. Well, Sheamus shoulder tackle. Now Sheamus is laying it in on Drew McIntyre. Okay, for Kingston's going after Sheamus and Jeff Hardy's going after Drew McIntyre. So the friends, I guess, fighting with each other again and now against each other once more. Oh, McIntyre and Sheamus go for a double clothesline. Then Sheamus hits a big clothesline and McIntyre's down. Sheamus whips McIntyre off the rope. McIntyre will kick to the face of Sheamus and clothesline Sheamus, or they both go over the top rope. So all competitors in the match are down. Oh no, Kofi Kingston and AJ Styles are back up. What a forearm by Kingston to AJ Styles. Oh, what a right hand by AJ to Kofi Kingston. Oh, AJ Styles just threw Kofi into the side of the Elimination Chamber. That looked rough. Oh, Sheamus is just squishing the face of McIntyre, or standing on the face of it. That looked nasty. Those chains, I mean, those are legit chains as well. They hurt. They really do hurt. Now, AJ Styles is focusing on Kofi Kingston now. Kingston, he was thrown into the turnbuckle by AJ Styles. Kingston just climbed it and then dived onto Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. Still no more eliminations after Randy Orton. Everyone's in the match at this point. Oh, and Kingston just a kick to the gut of Sheamus. Well, AJ tried to jump in the ring, but he actually got caught by Kofi Kingston. Sheamus and McIntyre went to kick each other at the same time. Now Sheamus is squaring off with Kofi Kingston here. It's a nice European uppercut on Kofi Kingston. He's going to whip him off the ropes. Oh, Kingston slides under. Nice. Oh, and a kick to the face of Sheamus. Kingston's going to go up top. Well, Sheamus meets him at the pass. Stops him there. Now Kingston's on the top rope. What's Sheamus got planned here? Oh, Kingston. Now Kofi's on the top of the pod here. I just paused there because they showed this camera angle like showing in of the chamber, and it looked like there was confetti there, which again makes you think: what if someone would win the WWE Championship? Would that be why there was confetti falling down? Maybe for a cash in. Sheamus was chasing Kingston up the pods, but Drew McIntyre pulled Sheamus down on a very awkward landing, to say the least. Crotched him on the top of the turnbuckle. So we've still got 5 people in this match. Jeff Hardy, hasn't been eliminated. He's just been on the floor for ages. Of course, Jeff Hardy did start the match with Randy Orton. He's still in this thing. Kofi Kingston's on the top of a pod. Drew McIntyre's got Sheamus up for a superplex. AJ Styles is going to try and go for a powerbomb. Jeff Hardy's back up once again. Looks like they're going to go for a Tower of Doom. Oh, Power of Doom. AJ Styles and Drew McIntyre AJ Styles and Jeff Hardy powerbomb Drew McIntyre, and who superplexes. It's past 2 a.m. in the morning. Superplexes Sheamus. Styles covers Sheamus and Jeff Hardy covers Drew McIntyre. Both kick out though. Jeff Hardy's clutching his knee. Jeff Hardy's clutching the knee. Jeff Hardy's going for McIntyre. Oh, you forgot about Kofi Kingston. Kingston's on the top of a pod. Kingston, does a trust fall. Kingston does a trust fall onto all 4 superstars. Kingston covers Sheamus, and Sheamus kicks out. Covers Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy kicks out. Is he going to cover Drew McIntyre? And McIntyre kicks out at 1. It's a nice indication that McIntyre is stronger than the others. Kicks out 2, but McIntyre kicks out 1. Seeing a replay of the trust fall by Kingston. So again, still only 1 elimination so far. The only elimination was Kofi Kingston eliminating Randy Orton. Oh, slapped to the gut by Sheamus to Kingston. Kingston with some chops to Sheamus. Kingston goes to the top, goes for another trust fall, but he's caught by Sheamus. And Sheamus hits a bro kick, just about kicked Kofi's head off. My word, wow. That will be it. Kingston has been eliminated by Sheamus. What a bro kick, man. Whew. That bro kick was amazing. Wow. I see a replay of it here. It just about knocks his head off. Man. So 2 eliminations now. Kingston's been eliminated. Randy Orton's been eliminated. 4 remain. Sheamus, AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, and Drew McIntyre. Oh, twist of fate onto Sheamus by Jeff Hardy. He's going to go for one on twist of fate on Drew McIntyre. Oh, McIntyre kicks out. That was close. He's going to go for it again. Twist of fate on AJ Styles. Twist of fate on AJ Styles, and Jeff Hardy's going to the top. Oh, he's going to dive off the pod, isn't he? Is he going to go to the top? Oh, he's climbing the pod. He's going to do the swanton off the pod. He's going to go for the swanton off the pod. What's he doing? No. Oh, he's going to go for a whisper in the wind off the pod. Hardy moved out. Styles moved out the way, so he went for a whisper and wind off the pod onto Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. Now he's going for a swanton on AJ Styles on the other side of the ring. Hardy goes for it. Swanton hits it. Beautiful. Oh, Claymore kick by Drew McIntyre. That would be Jeff Hardy gone. 1, 2, 3, and Jeff Hardy's been eliminated. So only 3 remain. That'd be Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, and AJ Styles. Now AJ Styles just got hit with a swanton bomb. Jeff Hardy gets up and just gets claybored his head right off. So only 3 remain right now. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Smash a like on the like button if you're enjoying this Elimination Chamber pay-per-view as well. McIntyre goes for a future shock DDT and a knee to the face. Ooh, Sheamus hit a knee right to the face of Drew McIntyre. Got a close 2 count. Man, that was close. Now Sheamus just laying in some kicks to McIntyre. McIntyre getting hit with some clubbing blows by Sheamus there as well. Sheamus just stomping on AJ Styles. Only 3 men remain. That be Sheamus, Drew McIntyre, and AJ Styles. Sheamus is firmly in control, no doubt about that. Sheamus gets McIntyre up on his shoulders. And McIntyre manages to fight out. Oh, and a Glasgow kiss. Oh, Sheamus gets him up. White noise. I think McIntyre's in perfect spot for maybe a springboard 450. They're cutting off the camera angle. I think that's what's going to happen. Yeah, AJ's in space. Oh, he couldn't do the full 450. So he just landed on top of him. He hesitated. That could have been nasty. McIntyre kicks out though. To be fair, like you see here, AJ, he goes for the springboard. He realizes, it's too close. So he just goes for a swanton. It's a great adjustment, to be fair, from AJ Styles. People would think it's a botch, but he actually just modifies in mid-air. That's why AJ Styles is world class. Styles goes 450, does it this time. Proves that he can do it. 2. Oh, McIntyre kicks out. Now Sheamus is attacking AJ Styles. Doing some shots to the kidney. Now Sheamus is talking some trash to AJ Styles, it looks like. Oh, some shots to the gut once again. Sheamus throws Styles over the top rope. He's going to go for 10 beats of the Bowen. 3, 4, I'm going to count. Sheamus once again in control right now. McIntyre's trying to recover on the other side of the ring. Sheamus is with AJ. Oh, Sheamus throws AJ into the chamber fence surrounding the ring. Now Sheamus is going to go to the top rope. I think he might go for a shoulder block, a diving shoulder block. Don't see Sheamus go to the top that often. Oh, goes for a jumping clothesline from the top. By the way, Sheamus looks great. I just sort of clocked in my mind that Sheamus for what 3 years, 4 years was a tag team wrestler. Why was he a tag team wrestler? They said he was going to be a tag team wrestler because his days of being a singles guy was over because he was close to retiring. Spinal stenosis, didn't they? He had a bad neck. Or McIntyre, Future Shock DDT. I remember that saying, Sheamus can't do singles matches anymore because of his neck and all that kind of stuff. He's beat up. This is Sheamus looks the best he's looked in years. He's in a main event on a pay-per-view. He's dominating. It's incredible, really. McIntyre's getting back on his feet. Oh, and a bro kick. Sheamus just hit the bro kick on McIntyre. And a phenomenal forearm. Phenomenal forearm on Sheamus is going to be it. 2, 3. Sheamus is eliminated. Sheamus is eliminated. It's AJ Styles and Drew McIntyre remain. I think this probably mean that Drew McIntyre will retain, but man. So Sheamus is eliminated. I thought it would come down to Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. McIntyre gets hit with a bro kick, then AJ Styles comes in, phenomenal forearm, and Sheamus is eliminated. Wow. So the final 2 are AJ Styles and Drew McIntyre. Man. So Styles is lining it up. He's going for the phenomenal forearm again. Goes for it. Oh, a Claymore. Oh my God. He turned it into a Claymore. That was amazing. Phenomenal forearm into a Claymore. And McIntyre retains. Drew McIntyre retains the WWE Championship and still WWE Champion Drew McIntyre. Now would be a perfect time to cash in, Miz. Now would be a perfect time. That was a great finish, though. AJ Styles goes for a phenomenal forearm. And mid-air, is counted into a Claymore. McIntyre, he jumps so high in the air, by the way. It's incredible. Look how high McIntyre jumps. Whoa, it's incredible. Honestly, how high. He fully commits to that. Jumps so high. I mean, lands it. Excellent chamber match. I'd say it's tough to judge which one was the better chamber match. I thought they were both equally very, very good. Will The Miz cash in? This is the question. Will there be a cash in or not? The problem is if there isn't, and you keep saying this, you go off the air very like, oh. But McIntyre retains. I'm seeing another look of the mid-air Claymore. It was great. I mean, he absolutely nailed it. He absolutely nailed it. Great finish. Great chamber match. So McIntyre defeats 5 former WWE champions, retains the WWE Championship in the main event. Bravo. Oh, Bobby Lashley just speared him. What was Bobby Lashley doing out here? Bobby Lashley just speared Drew McIntyre. Is this why Bobby Lashley lost the US Championship? Because he's going to be feuding with Drew McIntyre? Is this why MVP was talking to The Miz? Is Bobby Lashley about to take out Drew McIntyre and then have The Miz cash in? Wow. Wow. This is going to get interesting. Bobby Lashley is taking out Drew McIntyre, and is The Miz going to come out? Or maybe The Miz, gave his briefcase to Bobby Lashley or something like that, and then Lashley cashes it in. I don't know what's going on. Maybe The Miz cashes in and promises Lashley a title shot. It explains why he's been booked so strongly, and explains why they got the US title off him. Lashley is destroying Drew McIntyre. Oh, a flatliner. Lashley's going to go for it. He's locking in the Hurt Lock. He's locked in the Hurt Lock to Drew McIntyre. Oh, full Nelson slam. Now, what's going to... Are they just going to go off the air with this? Because if you're The Miz, you would cash in, you would think. He's looking. The Miz's music's playing. It's going to cash in. They're going to do it. Here comes The Miz. He's going to cash in. Is he going to do it? Is The Miz going to be the WWE Champion? I can't believe this. The Miz... It's been announced he's going to cash it in. It's been cashed in. Is the bell going to ring? Is the bell going to ring? Drew McIntyre's gone through the Elimination Chamber. He's just gone through an attack by Bobby Lashley. Is The Miz going to cash in? Is The Miz about to become a 2-time WWE Champion? McIntyre's getting to his feet. The bell is rung. Miz, DDT. Is this going to be it? Is this going to be it? 1, 2. Kicked out. Oh, this is getting big. This is getting big. Miz is going to do it. Remember the Miz's match against Randy Orton went well. Here we go. Skull Crushing Finale. Skull Crushing Finale hits it. Covers. 1, 2, 3. Miz has won the WWE Championship. Wow. Miz is the new WWE Champion. Wow. The Miz is the new WWE Champion. 10 years ago, 10 years ago, The Miz was the WWE Champion. 10 years later, The Miz is the new WWE Champion. Oh my God. Oh my God. The Miz has just won the WWE Championship with a huge assist from Bobby Lashley. What is going on? Oh my God. This guy got slapped by Bad Bunny earlier on tonight. Wow. Well, The Miz is the WWE Champion. The Miz is the new WWE Champion. What is going on? I can't believe it. The Miz is the WWE Champion. 10 years later, The Miz has just won the WWE Championship. Wow. I mean, what do you even say? What do you, how, what, what? How do you even, oh my God, I don't know what to say. It's incredible. The Miz is the WWE champion. Wow. I mean, like I said, you don't even really know what to say. I mean, I'm kind of a little bit in shock. Wow. 10 years later, The Miz has just won the WWE Championship. I think I'm going to do a separate stream so we can talk about this because this is incredible. This is nuts. Okay, we'll do a separate stream. Bear with me. I'll be back in a bit. Thanks everyone for watching.